It's time for Brewster Whitecaps baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Welcome to Stony Brook Field. We're just about 12 minutes away from this East Division matchup between the Chatham Anglers and the Brewster Whitecaps. I'm Maura Sheridan alongside Carter Woodeel. We'll be joined by Aiden Doyle in just a couple of minutes. A big game for both teams today, as I mentioned, in the same division, and these teams are tied for third place in the East right now. Playoff picture in question tonight. This is the last matchup between these two teams. And so as we talked to Jamie Shevchik after yesterday's big 9-0 win for Brewster, he didn't quite want to call it a must win, but he said it's just about as close to that as he will say. But yesterday, that was the big story. Brewster ended a 5-game winless streak. They did have a tie mixed in there, but they finally won. They beat Cotuit at home 9-0, and it was one of the most complete games we've seen from Brewster so far this season.
Yeah, it really was a terrific performance. Tony Losi with 8 shutout innings on the mound for Brewster. Wanted to go back out there, wound up throwing upwards of 115 pitches to get that job done. And up and down the lineup, everybody in the offense lineup got on base at one point except for Steele Walker, who left early in that game. And the rest of the team had a terrific job just up and down to put those 9 runs aboard.
And because Tony Losi went as deep into the game as he did, this created an outlook for today that Jamie Shevchik is very excited about. We'll send it down to Aiden Doyle to tell us more about that. Aiden?
Thanks, Maura. Well, while a lot of fans would look at yesterday's game and just be thankful that Tony Losi gave them 8 shutout innings for the 9-0 win over Cotuit, Coach Shevchik and the rest of this Whitecaps coaching staff, they were already looking forward to today because with those 8 innings, Tony Losi gave this Whitecaps bullpen a much-needed rest. Matthew Beck out of LSU was the only Whitecaps reliever to appear in yesterday's game pitching the 9th inning. So basically everyone in that bullpen, nearly everyone else on the pitching staff, is ready to go today in a big matchup, like you mentioned, Maura, against the Chatham Anglers. So while, yes, getting the win yesterday was important, the Whitecaps continue to reap the benefits of Losi's stellar start today.
Thank you, Aiden, and that is true. Tony Losi created an outlook for today's game that I'm sure Shevchik is happy about, but it's going to be Joe Molatier who he sends on the mound today for the Whitecaps. In his last start, Molatier pitched just 4 innings, allowed 4 runs, but only 2 of those runs were earned, had 3 hits, but he did walk 4 and had 2 strikeouts in that game. That was against Wareham, and that was a Brewster loss. They lost pretty badly, 10-3. And because of those 3 errors, which has been a story for this team all year, that's kind of what happened. And I remember talking to Jamie Shevchik after the game and him saying, I don't really think that was all on Joe. It was a tough loss. But he did say to me that he's got to have more command on the mound. What do you think that Joe Molatier needs to do to pull out this, or help his team pull out this win against Chatham today?
Well, I think Coach Shevchik put it well, like you said, Maura, when talking about command, and more specifically fastball command. One thing that he really struggled with, Joe Molatier was looking pretty locked in and pretty composed for the first 3 innings of that start against Wareham, and then came out in the 4th, and his fastball kept leaving pitches up. He kept his delivery wasn't quite where he wanted it to be with making sure to get that fastball where he needed it to go, and that with Joe Molatier, like a lot of the other pitchers on this Brewster Whitecaps staff and here on the Cape, getting that fastball command, getting ahead in counts is very important for him, and that was something that he struggled with, and that was one of the reasons why he was pulled a little bit earlier in that start than he would have liked against Wareham. And so I'm sure that's something that he's been working on. I know Tony Losi was big on fastball command before the start that he had yesterday. He came out and threw 8 shutout innings, so we'll see if Joe Molatier can replicate that.
Meanwhile, the Chatham Anglers will put out Jacob Stevens, who this Brewster Whitecaps squad has already seen before, and Stevens, when he played the Whitecaps, that was back on July 19th, that was the last time he was out there, and he had one of his best starts all year for the Anglers and just allowed one run, no earned runs in that game, and 4 hits in 4 innings pitched for the Anglers. And what does this Brewster Whitecaps team have to do in order to hit against a pitcher they've already seen before but was able to kind of stifle their team?
Well, it comes back to the fastball again. Very different fastball for Jacob Stevens because he has some life on it. It's not going to be all that fast, maybe 80, high 80s, up to 90, but he can get some swings and misses, and he can paint the corner. The last time these two teams met, you were talking about that game back a week ago yesterday when they were in Chatham, and the Brewster Whitecaps players weren't huge fans of a home plate umpire that night, but like it or not, he was able to paint the corner with his fastball and get some swing and misses on it as well. So it all starts with that, and he's got a good slider to back it up. Some good stuff for Jacob Stevens. Just can he kind of rein it in and be a little bit less erratic on the mound? If he can do that, it's a tough opponent to face for Brewster.
So Stevens and Molatier will face off on the mound, but right now at home plate, there's a bit of a ceremony going on for John Schiffner. He is the Chatham head coach. He's been head coach for 25 years, and this is going to be his last game at Stony Brook Field. So he's getting a nice warm embrace from Jamie Shevchik right now, a standing ovation from the fans here at Stony Brook Field. 25 years as head coach, as I said, 125 Chatham players who made it to the majors, 26 players drafted in the first round alone, so quite a career there for John Schiffner as he waves to the crowd right now.
And that's great to see. You know, it's been terrific to see kind of the little farewell tour that John Schiffner has had since he made it public that he's going to be hanging up the uniform, or however you phrase it, for when you stop managing with the team. And that's one of the things that makes the Cape Cod League so special, are the people that are involved that are here year after year and kind of make the league what it is. And John Schiffner is certainly right at the top of that list. And
now let's take a look at that starting lineup that Schiffner will be putting out there today for the Anglers. Batting in the leadoff spot is going to be Jeremy Pena, the all-star shortstop for them. Batting in the 2 spot is going to be Josh Shaw out of St. John's, a second baseman. Batting in the 3 spot, it's Shea Langoliers. He'll be the designated hitter for the Anglers today. Batting 4th, Josh Stowers. He'll be out in left field. Batting 5th, Nick Patton, the first baseman today for the Anglers. Batting 6th, it's going to be Cody Roberts, a UNC Tar Heel, and he'll be behind the plate catching. Batting 7th, it's going to be another UNC Tar Heel, Ashton McGee. He'll be at third base. Batting 8th, it's going to be Landon Kay. He'll be out in left field. And batting 9th, it's going to be Mason Coppins. He'll be in center field today. Well, we'll take a quick break for the national anthem. When we come back, we'll get you set with the Brewster starting lineup. Stick with us. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Welcome back to Stony Brook Field. We're just moments away from this matchup between the Brewster Whitecaps and the Chatham Anglers. We'll get you started on the Brewster Whitecaps lineup, and we'll let them introduce themselves.
Nick Dunn, infield, University of Maryland.
Chandler Taylor, University of Alabama, outfielder.
Mickey Gasper, catcher, Bryant University.
Michael Curry, designated hitter, the University of Georgia.
Hey, I'm Marty Casas, outfielder, University of Maryland.
Hunter Bishop, outfielder, Arizona State.
Kyle Datris, infield, University of North Carolina.
Julian Infante, infield, Vanderbilt.
AJ Graffinino, shortstop for the University of Washington.
Joe Molatier, right-handed pitcher, Monmouth University.
Well, Mickey Gasper And Nick Dunn back in the lineup today after just taking a day off yesterday. And what does it mean to have those kind of guys that have been not only leaders, but have been red hot at the plate, to have them back? I mean, I know they did score 9 runs yesterday, so perhaps they don't need them, but I'm sure Jamie Shevchik's excited to have Mickey Gasper and Nick Dunn back.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember when it was actually the last time that the Whitecaps were playing the Anglers, and we were in Chatham, and Jamie Shevchik said, we need guys like Nick Dunn and Mickey Gasper also to perform if we're going to win games. Those guys weren't in the lineup yesterday, and they won a game 9-0. But I'm sure that, whenever a guy comes out of a lineup and you're able to get the win without some key guys, it helps out the team. It makes you realize that you can win without necessarily some of your better bats in the lineup. But I'm sure Brewster is ready to go with what is a top-tier lineup for them looking ahead.
Joe Molitier getting some warm-up pitches on the mound. I'll get you set on the defense for the Brewster Whitecaps. From left to right in the outfield, it's going to be Marty Costas, Hunter Bishop, and Chandler Taylor. And from left to right in the infield, it's going to be Kyle Datris, AJ Graffinino, Nick Dunn, and Julian Infante over at first. Behind the plate, it's Mickey Gasper today. And pitching, Joe Molitier. Mickey Gasper behind the plate. And this is a Chatham team that likes to steal a lot. They've stolen a lot of bases this year, so it should be an interesting matchup as we talk to Tony Losi and some other guys, and even Mickey Gasper himself. He says that's something he really wants to work on, trying to throw guys out from behind the plate. Here comes Jeremy Pena. He'll lead off for this Chatham Anglers squad, looking to upend the Brewster Whitecaps and change the playoff picture in the East Division a little bit. Both teams are tied for third place right now. Molitier staring in against Pena. He's at shortstop today. Here comes the first pitch, a breaking ball that finds a strike zone. And Joel Molitier moves the count to 0-1. Pena was a Cape League All-Star. Played in that game this Saturday as the next pitch from Molitier misses on the outside. Down low, counts now 1-1. Pena, originally from the Dominican Republic, he does also call Providence, Rhode Island his home, as he'll foul the next one on the third base line. Counts now 1-2. Pena plays at UMaine, one of the Black Bears over there. So he's a New England guy. Here comes the 1-2. This one misses on the outside corner, counts now 2-2. Pena batting .245 with a .333 on base percentage as the next pitch from Joe Molitier misses down low and gets behind Mickey Gasper, but with nobody on, the count runs full on the leadoff hitter for the Anglers. Pena calls time and fixes his shin guard there. Counts now is still 3-2. Here comes the payoff pitch. That one misses down low, and a leadoff walk for the Chatham Anglers.
Just what the doctor ordered, right? To come on and get this, and for Joe Molitier, getting that fastball command is going to be very important. Not quite able to locate it in that at-bat.
The 4 walks Joe Molitier had against Wareham kind of led to the struggle of that game. There was also 3 errors, so not all on his part, but that's something that Jamie Shevchik said that Molitier needs to work on his command out there. First pitch to Josh Shaw. Misses inside, counts now 1-0. Josh Shaw plays at St. John's, one of the Red Storm, and I know you're going to like this, Carter. He's out of New Jersey, Wayne, New Jersey, to be exact. Counts now 1-0. Runner on first, nobody out, and no score here in the top of the first inning. As this next pitch is fouled on the first base line, a hard line drive there from Josh Shaw moves the count to 1-1. Shaw was also an East All-Star. Joined Pena to represent their division in Wareham on Saturday. The East ended up winning 5-3. Here comes the 1-1. This one hit to Kyle Dashers at third. He'll try to backhand it, but it will pop off his glove. So Josh Shaw will get into first safely. That one a hard hit ball. We'll see how they score it. But regardless, runners on first and second and nobody out for the Chatham Anglers.
That was a good job by Datris to just get his glove out and knock that thing down. As you said, Maura, we'll see exactly what the scoring decision come is. They've flashed a hit on the board, but now it's gone, and they haven't. Or I think they did put it up as an infield hit.
So it will be scored as a hit. It was a hard hit ball over there to Kyle Datris. Was unable to make the play, so runners on first and second. It's going to be Josh Shaw on first, Jeremy Pena on second. And the first pitch to Shea Langeliers misses down low. Counts now 1-0. Well, it's 3 All-Stars in a row for the Chatham Anglers. The top of their order were all East Division All-Stars, as Shea Langeliers was one himself. Here comes the 1-0. A breaking ball that misses below the knees. Counts now 2-0 to Langeliers. Molatier stepping off the mound, trying to get back into this at-bat. He's behind in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. And Langeliers a guy that can go yard. He has 6 home runs in the Cape League this year. And he's had one against, as he will get hit with the next pitch. Joe Molatier got him what looks like right in the shoulder. He had to turn away, and now the bases are loaded and nobody out. Tough break there for Joe Molatier, but that one was right in the shoulder. But Langeliers will walk it off and head to first.
Yeah, it's good to see him shake it off. Did what he needed to do there. Turned his body away, let it hit him in the back instead of something more dangerous. Looks like he'll be all right.
And now with the bases loaded, it's the number 4 hitter Josh Stowers up to bat for the Anglers. Molatier staring in, trying to get out of a jam. Here comes the first pitch. Breaking ball that misses up high. Counts 1-0. Stowers has 8 RBIs on the year. As the 1-0 misses down and away, counts now 2-0. Molatier struggling to figure it out in counts. He's gotten behind in the last 3 counts. 2 balls, no strikes. Molatier looking over at third, and now here comes the 2-0. This one check fouled over right to the bat boys in front of the screen. Good thing there is a screen there. So now the count moves to 2-1 on Stowers. Stowers, as I mentioned, batting in the 4 spot today. He'll be in left field for the Anglers. Plays for Louisville, teammate of Sam Bordner, one of the Brewster Whitecaps. Here comes the 2-1. That one hit to shortstop. Graffinino with the grab. Throws to second. Nick Dunn able to force the out there, but that's just going to be 1 out as a run will score. And very quickly here in the top of the first inning, the Chatham Anglers go up 1-0 as Jeremy Pena crosses the plate on an RBI there. RBI fielder's choice from Josh Stowers.
Yeah, how's this for a rally? Amora, they haven't had the ball leave the infield. Must you count when it just barely trickled in the outfield grass after Datris knocked down that ground ball off the bat of Shaw. Kind of a strange rally, but you'll take it if you're Chatham. An early lead is an early lead.
Chatham has got on a walk, as we just saw Pena cross the plate. A single that was hit to Kyle Datris that went off his glove and just behind him, and then a hit by a pitch, and then a fielder's choice as Nick Patton hits one high into right field. Chandler Taylor on the move, makes the grab, and that will do it for out number 2, but Josh Shaw tags up and crosses home, and so a sacrifice fly there for Nick Patton makes the score 2-0 Chatham, taking an early lead here in the top of the first inning.
And still just the one hit in the frame, but able to do what they need to. When you load the bases with nobody out, you want to make sure that you're getting in a couple of runs. You don't want to get caught after just scoring 1 and then having the pitcher get out of the jam. And despite, again, only having 1 hit, they're able to do that.
Now with just a runner on first, the pitch from Joe Molatier misses outside to Cody Roberts, the UNC Tar Heel. He'll be behind the plate today, teammates with Zach Hagan and Kyle Datris at Chapel Hill. Here comes the 1-0. This one almost hits Cody Roberts. He had to move out of the way. Very much inside. Moves the count to 2-0. Molatier struggling a little bit with his command here. We've seen a lot of pitches missing. Thrown 12 balls and just 7 strikes so far in this top of the first inning. Here comes the 2-0. That one misses inside. Counts now 3-0. Cody Roberts going ahead in the count. Josh Stowers at first, and there's 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Here comes the 3-0. Misses inside, and that is the second walk of this inning for Joe Molatier.
Yeah, it just seems like he hasn't quite been able to get a handle on that fastball early on here. That was the one that we saw Langoliers get plunked with, and then, as you said, Roberts kind of had to dive away from a pitch in the middle of that bat there as well. But this is something that can come and go for Molatier. I mean, he could come out in the second frame and have it ready to go. We'll just see if he can get through the first.
Ashton McGee, another UNC Tar Heel up to bat for the Anglers. Runners on first and second. Molatier looking over at second base. It's Josh Stowers. He has 10 stolen bases this year. First pitch from Molatier is in for a strike. Counts now 0-1. As I mentioned, McGee, a UNC Tar Heel ACC Freshman of the Year, had a great year for the 44-11 Tar Heels as he'll hit one in the gap on the first base side in between Nick Dunn and Julian Infante, and Stowers, with the speed he has, will score easily, and this is now a 3-0 game. Chatham takes the lead early in the top of the first.
And I don't know about you more, but to me that didn't look like a particularly hard-hit baseball that time either. That one just right through the hole on the right side of the infield. Of course, not as much room as you would like with runner being held on, and able to get that one through.
So Ashton McGee's now at first, and Cody Roberts is at second. For the Anglers, 2 outs as the first pitch from Molatier to Landon Kay misses down low below the knees. Counts now 1-0. Kay's the number 8 hitter in this Chatham lineup, as the 1-0 is chopped to AJ Graffinino. At short, he'll make the throw to Julian Infante in time at first to complete the third out. But a tough inning for the Brewster Whitecaps and Joe Molatier. Chatham scores 3 runs to go up 3-0 early. We've played just a half an inning. Stick with us for the rest of the game. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Do you know what that sound is? That's your new digital marketing department. And that'll be your new web designer. And that's Haibu, where these experts are joined by many more, from web designers to search marketing specialists, who work hard to get your business noticed online and on mobile. Best of all, Haibu can do it all for you, or give you the tools to do it yourself. To find out more, go to haibu.com. That's HIBU.com. Or call 855-464-HIBU. Oh, that'll be your next new customer. Haibu, made for business.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Waddiel and Maura Sheridan.
Welcome back to Stony Brook Field. We played just half an inning, but already Chatham has gotten out to 3-0 lead over the Brewster Whitecaps, as Brewster will get their first chance to try to bat their way back into this game. And Nick Dunn will lead things off for Brewster with Jacob Stevens on the mound for the Anglers. Dunn digging in for Brewster. Here comes the first pitch from Stevens. That one outside and away. Counts now 1-0 on Nick Dunn, who's back in the lineup after just getting a day off yesterday. We saw Christian Molfetta at second in yesterday's 9-0 win, as the 1-0 finds the outside corner, moves the count to 1-1. Stevens working quickly. He's out of Boston College, one of the Eagles, and the Brewster Whitecaps have seen him before in a 5-3 Chatham win. Here comes the 1-1. This one misses down and outside. Counts now 2-1 on Nick Dunn. Dunn batting .306 for the Brewster Whitecaps, has really stepped up, fell into a leadership position as he swings and misses at the next one. Counts now 2-2. But Dunn's a guy known for staying alive in counts. I don't know if this is a stat I could get, but Nick Dunn seems to foul off a lot of balls in counts just like this one at 2-2, as just as I said that, he fouled one right into the netting behind him. Stays alive in this one, counts now 2-2. Stevens will get a new ball and then walk back to the mound. Dunn, one of the Maryland Terrapins, one of two on this team. Marty Costas also joins him, as he'll once again foul this one, this time on the first base line right to the bat boys for the Chatham Anglers. Got a little jammed up in that foul. And the count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on for Brewster. Here comes the pitch. That one misses outside. And Nick Dunn patiently runs the count full against Jacob Stevens. Joe Molatier also had to pitch a full count in the first batter he faced in this game. Stevens facing the same fate, as Nick Dunn will foul off a ball again. This one straight behind him over the press box. So we'll do it again. Stevens takes a deep breath, and here comes the payoff pitch. That one misses up high, and Nick Dunn will lead off for Brewster with a walk, trying to mirror exactly what Chatham did in the first inning. They led off with a walk and scored 3 runs, so hey, maybe they're just trying to copy their way back into this game, as Chandler Taylor digs in for Brewster. Nick Dunn on first for the Whitecaps. Here comes the pitch to Chandler Taylor. That one finds the strike zone, and Steven goes up in the count, 0-1. Taylor batting .235 for the Whitecaps this season. Does have a .381 on base percentage, though, as he'll take the next one. An off-speed pitch that misses up high. Counts now 1-1. But he does have 7 home runs, and that's kind of been his go-to every time there's a clutch situation. It seems like Chandler Taylor or Marty Costas has come up big for the Whitecaps, as this next pitch again misses up high and counts now 2-1 on Chandler Taylor. Taylor, though, does have 18 walks on the year. The only person that has more walks than that is Kyle Datris. And Mickey Gasper, of course, who has 26, and nobody's going to catch him there. Counts now 2-2 on Chandler Taylor. As a home plate ump will just wipe off the plate there. It's going to be Pat Sparky Burns behind the plate. Nick Dunn on first. Counts now 2-2 on the number 2 hitter for the Brewster Whitecaps. Next pitch from Stevens misses way outside. And once again, the count is now full. This time to Chandler Taylor. We saw this before with Nick Dunn. Jacob Stevens getting in a lot of pitches here. He's just faced 2 batters.
I'll tell you what, after you get after you get punched in the mouth at the top of the first, this is how you work back. Just try and get on base however you can.
Here comes the payoff pitch. This one fouled straight behind him into the backstop. And Chandler Taylor stays alive in this at-bat. Brewster down 3-0 in the bottom of the first inning. As Carter mentioned, the Chatham Anglers just came out, kind of stuck it to Molatier and just strung together 2 hits, walks, and Chandler Taylor will get called on a strikeout. Just caught him looking there, and a nice pitch there that painted the outside corner from Jacob Stevens, and he will get his first strikeout of the day and the first out of this bottom of the first inning. So Mickey Gasper now taking some practice swings for Brewster with a runner on first, but now 1 out for the Whitecaps. First pitch to Gasper misses outside. Counts now 1-0. Gasper out of Bryant has been a leader on this team. We've talked about it before, batting .307, 26 RBIs on the year. Here comes the 1-0. That one finds a strike zone. Counts now 1-1 on Gasper. And as I mentioned, nobody's walked more than him on this team, 26 on the year. Here comes the 1-1 from Stevens. That one's hit to first base. A grab there from Patton and a throw to second, which completes the out to Nick, or gets out Nick Dunn. But it looks like Mickey Gasper was able to beat out the throw from second baseman Josh Shaw, who threw it back to Patton. But Mickey Gasper gets on. Nick Dunn, though, gets out on the base path. So now still just a runner on first. It's Mickey Gasper now, but 2 outs in the bottom of the first.
That was almost a terrific double play. Patton did a great job to jump and field the baseball, and then Stevens was covering first base, just popped right out of his glove as he was running over to cover the bag.
And it will be Michael Curry, takes the first pitch in from Jacob Stevens for a strike. Counts now 0-1. And Patton has a lot of height over there at first base. He is 6'4", and we just kind of saw it in action there as the 0-1 misses down low. Counts now 1-1 on Michael Curry. Curry batting .293, but another all-star on this Whitecaps team that, as he'll hit the next pitch high and into center field, it's Coppins on the move. He gets under it and makes the grab and completes the inning. So Brewster unable to put any runs across. They don't get a hit in this bottom of the first inning, and they leave 1 runner on. Chatham still leads Brewster 3-0. Stick with us. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Waddiel and Maura Sheridan.
The Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or evening clam bake, a proud member of leading hotels of the world. Well, we're back at Stony Brook Field. Chatham is up 3-0 on the Brewster Whitecaps. Joe Molatier still on the mound, and he'll face the bottom of the lineup for the Chatham Anglers as Mason Coppins, Jeremy Pena, and Josh Shaw. So it's going to be 9-1-2, due up for the Chatham Anglers. Coppins in center field today, getting ready to start out this top of the second inning with his team up 3-0. Molatier getting some words of encouragement from Mickey Gasper behind the plate as the first pitch squirts by Gasper. As the count's now 1-0. That one just down in the dirt and into the backstop behind Mickey Gasper. He was set up on the inside corner, but that one missed on the outside. Here comes the 1-0. This one foul tipped into the netting behind him by Mason Coppins. Count's now 1-1 on number 31 for the Anglers. Breaking ball swung on and missed by Coppins, and Joe Molatier goes ahead in the count 1-2.
A little lucky there. Coppins thought he had a hanger. It wound up being left a bit up, and he got the big swing and a miss. A little lucky for Molatier.
Here comes the 1-2. That one down in the dirt, and counts now 2-2. Gasper able to knock it down on towards the first base line, but nobody on, so no worries there. Count still 2-2. Here comes the pitch. This one below the knees and runs the count full. Molatier struggling a little bit early. And once again faces a full count. Here comes the payoff pitch. A swing and a miss. And he got Mason Coppins via the strikeout to start out this top of the second inning. A good sign for Molatier, who struggled in the first, to try to get back on track here in the top of the second.
Yeah, pulled the string on the off-speed pitch there. One of the better pitches that we've seen from Joe Molatier all night, Moore. You're absolutely right, but it's a good sign. He had to throw everything. Had to throw the kitchen sink at him during that at-bat, but came out the victor in the battle. Nicely done.
Here comes the first pitch to Jeremy Pena. Finds the inside corner for a strike. Counts now 0-1 on the leadoff hitter for the Chatham Anglers. The one is fouled above the dugout for the Anglers on the first base side, and quickly Molatier gets ahead in the count 0-2. Pena did work a walk in the first meeting between these two players. Here comes the 0-2. That one in the dirt. Gasper has to stop it with his knees. Moves the count to 1-2. Pena ended up coming home to score the first run on an RBI fielder's choice from the number 4 hitter Josh Stowers. Here comes the 1-2. A breaking ball, a swing, and a miss. Molatier strikes out 2 in a row to start out this top of the second inning.
And both on off-speed pitches, so clearly I think Joe Molatier has kind of recognized that maybe his fastball isn't having the best day coming out here, and he's using a little bit more of that off-speed stuff to try and put guys away late in at-bats.
And now it will be the number 2 hitter for the Chatham Anglers, Josh Shaw, up to bat. Shaw did have a single in his first at-bat as he'll take the first pitch from Molatier for a ball, that one below the knees. Shaw's single was just a hard hit ground ball to Kyle Datris that Datris couldn't quite glove. As just as I say that, he'll hit another one to Kyle Datris, who will glove it and make the throw to Infante and complete the inning. So Molatier and Brewster escape with no runs, no hits, and they won't let anybody on for the Chatham Anglers. Molatier has 2 strikeouts in that inning, but Brewster is still down 3-0 after 1.5 innings of play. Stick with us. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
Costas, Bishop, and Datras all due up for the Brewster Whitecaps. Jacob Stevens still on the mound. For the Chatham Anglers, here comes the first pitch from Stevens to Costas. That one inside, and it looks like it hit Marty Costas right in maybe the shin, as he will just jog it off down to first, and a leadoff runner on once again for Brewster. Probably not quite the way they wanted it, but they'll take it as Marty Costas just trying to walk it out. And that's why you wear those shin guards, I guess.
That's the second batter that we've seen get plunked. Remember, we saw Langoliers get hit with a pitch from Molatier. That was in the top of the first inning. But again, looks like Marty, like Shea Langoliers, is going to be all right.
And that's the sixth time this season that Marty Costas has been hit by a pitch. That's the most for the Brewster Whitecaps. A guy that finds a way to get on, no matter what kind of pain it puts him through, I guess. As Hunter Bishop now comes up to bat for Brewster, with a runner on and nobody out. First pitch misses outside. Counts now 1-0 on Bishop. We saw Bishop yesterday. He was supposed to have the day off, then ended up coming in because Steele Walker only batted in one inning and then just came out of the game, as this next pitch from Stevens again misses outside and counts now 2-0 on Bishop. And Hunter Bishop came in the game in the second inning and had a great day for himself. We actually interviewed him after the game, and he said he's always ready to go no matter the situation. The 2-0 finds the strike zone, moves the count to 2-1. Bishop out in center field today for the Whitecaps. Struggling a little bit at the plate, batting .204 on the year, as the 2-1 is popped high into center. Moving back is Coppins. He's going way back, and that one is out of here. Hunter Bishop gets his first home run of the year and puts Brewster within one run of the Chatham Anglers. The score is now 3-2. That one was long gone, just on the hill in center field. A great home run there from Hunter Bishop. Gets his team back into this game.
Well, we've heard a lot about Hunter Bishop's talents and just the raw stuff that he's got at the plate. Haven't seen a ton of it this year. He's had trouble getting it going, and that time, I mean, that was a moonshot out just toward the left side of the center field. Didn't really look like he got all of it. It went the opposite way, but it still was a long home run, and that's what Hunter Bishop has been looking for him all season, and maybe this will be the start of something.
And so the first pitch to Kyle Datras will miss up high. Counts now 1-0, and the game is now 3-2. Chatham still on top of Brewster. I always wonder if people can hear me, because I said Hunter Bishop was struggling at the plate as he hit the home run. Kyle Datras will hit it to shortstop. Pena with the throw, and that will be in time. Kyle Datras will go out and be the first out of this bottom of the second inning for the Brewster Whitecaps. And Julian Infante will now step up to the plate for Brewster. Infante not sporting those gold cleats that you like, Carter, today. Switching it up to just the plain black and white ones. Infante out of Vanderbilt. Likes to show his school spirit whenever he can, as the first pitch misses below the knees to Infante. Counts now 1-0. Nobody on for Brewster, just one out. They're working their way back into this game, down 3-2. As Infante hits one right to second baseman Josh Shaw. Shaw with the throw to first and completes the out over to Coppins there, and Julian Infante goes out. Back-to-back groundouts for the Brewster Whitecaps.
Nice job here by Stevens to recover and get a couple of not just grounders, but very soft ground balls from a couple of hitters that have pop in their bats, in Datras and Infante, after yielding that long ball to Hunter Bishop.
So now the number 9 hitter for the Brewster Whitecaps, A.J. Graffinino, up to bat. The first pitch to Graffinino. Paints the outside corner. Moves the count to 0-1. Graffinino, not your traditional 9 hitter. We've seen him bat just about everywhere, sometimes lead off, sometimes in the 2 spot. Jamie Shevchik likes to move him around. The 0-1. This one, a fly ball into center field. Moving back is Coppins, and he'll make the grab and complete this inning. But Brewster is trying to work their way back into this game, and Hunter Bishop has a 2-run homer in the bottom of the second, brings home Marty Costas, and Brewster now is down to the Chatham Anglers 3-2. We're through 2 innings of play. Stick with us. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wadeel and Maura Sheridan.
Welcome back to Stony Brook Field. And there's a guy up to bat for the Chatham Anglers that's known for silencing Brewster comebacks. The last time these two teams played, Shane Langeliers, as he'll take the first pitch on the outside for ball 1. Brewster was working their way back into the game, down 4-3 to the Chatham Anglers, and Shane Langeliers hit one out of the park. Kind of silenced that rally for Brewster, as he'll take the next pitch from Joe Molatier for a ball. Counts now 2-0. We're in the top of the 3rd inning, and Chatham is on top of Brewster 3-2. The 2-0 is hit straight to Molatier, who tries to knock it down with his glove but isn't successful, as Shane Langeliers will get on a infield single. AJ Graffinino able to back it up, but wasn't able to make the throw or the grab in time. So Shane Langeliers leads things off and gets on base to start out this top of the 3rd inning. And now it's Josh Stower's turn. Here comes the first pitch from Molatier. A breaking ball that finds the outside corner. Counts now 0-1 on Josh Stowers. Stowers had an RBI fielder's choice and then came home himself in the last run that the Chatham Anglers scored in the 1st inning. The 0-1, a swing and a miss from Stowers, moves the count to 0-2.
Tell you what, the fastball today has been a little inconsistent for Joe Molatier, but the breaking ball has been working very well. Got a big swing and a miss there.
Molatier looking over at first. It's Shea Langeliers over there. Doesn't have a huge lead, as Molatier just staring him down, and he'll just walk back to the bag. The 0-2. That one hit high into left field. Moving back is Marty Costas, and he will make the grab. That one back at the warning tracks, but it will do it. Marty Costas will make the grab, and that will be the first out of this top of the 3rd inning.
Well, we talked about the broadcaster's curse. I was talking about how well the curveball was working, and then he hung one right there that Joe Molatier and Stowers just got underneath that, a little warning track blast.
And now it's Nick Patton's turn for the Chatham Anglers. Still a runner on first, 1 out. The score is 3-2, Chatham on top of Brewster. The first pitch from Molatier. Misses just a little bit high, counts now 1-0. Molatier has thrown one more ball than he has strikes. 22 balls and 21 strikes. Here comes the 1-0. A swing and a miss. Mickey Gasper with the throw over to second. And Nick Dunn is able to make the tag and complete the out. I know we were talking about before this how this Chatham Anglers team likes to steal, and Mickey Gasper makes the throw and gets Shane Langeliers on the move to second.
That's the first time that Shea Langeliers has tried to steal a base. Unsuccessful for him.
So now there is 2 outs. Counts now 1-1. That one misses. To move the count to 2-1 on Nick Patton. Molatier with the 2-1. This one in the same spot and moves the count to 3-1 on Patton. Patton over at first base today. We saw him make a nice play, nice leaping play to throw Nick Dunn on the move to second out. Here comes the 3-1. This one again misses outside, and that will be the 3rd walk of the day for Joe Molatier as Nick Patton takes first.
And again, it looked like that was some hard stuff that missed on the outside corner there from Molatier. Command is just so important for him. When he has his command, he's been a very steady guy, been a very valuable guy for this Whitecaps rotation, but it can be a struggle when he just can't quite hit the target. And he's been laboring a bit so far in this outing.
First pitch to Cody Roberts is fouled into the netting behind Roberts. Counts now 0-1. Roberts, as we're talking about walks, he worked a walk in his first at-bat against Molatier in the first inning. Was left on after Landon Kay grounded out to end that inning. The 0-1 for Molatier is chopped over to second. Nick Dunn underhands it over to second, forces the out as Patton was on the move. And that will do it in this inning. No runs come through for the Chatham Anglers. They'll leave just 1 on off of just 1 hit for Chatham. Stick with us. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. The score is 3-2.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
First pitch from Jacob Stevens to Nick Dunn is hit for a base hit in right center. Nick Dunn moving to second. He'll slide in safely, and that's a lead-off double to start out this bottom of the 3rd for Nick Dunn, somebody that has just been red hot lately and once again showing up for this game. Chandler Taylor now up to bat for the Brewster Whitecaps as Nick Dunn just hit a double to left center on the first pitch he saw, on right center, excuse me, on the first pitch he saw from Jacob Stevens. Stevens still in the game for the Chatham Anglers. Has given up just 2 hits, but that includes a 2-run homer from Hunter Bishop as first pitch to Chandler Taylor misses below the knees. Counts 1-0 on the Alabama native. Chandler Taylor, the lone strikeout victim on this Brewster Whitecaps squad. The 1-0 again misses below the knees. Counts 2-0. Stevens just painted one on the outside corner to Chandler Taylor in his last at-bat and caught him looking, and he was not very happy with that call from home plate ump Pat Sparky Burns, but he's looking to get his 14th RBI with Nick Dunn in scoring position right now as he'll hit one hard but just tail foul on the first base side.
Tell you what, Chandler Taylor is the guy who knows when he gets all of a baseball, and he did there. He just tailed it foul. You could tell he just missed hitting another Stony Brook Field dinger.
2 balls, 1 strike on CT, as they call him. Here comes the 2-1. This one chopped on the third base line. That one will go foul and just roll to Smythe on the third base side, the coach for the Brewster Whitecaps. Counts now 2-2 on Chandler Taylor. Nick Dunn still at second, but Jacob Stevens keeps swiveling his head, giving him a good look. Nick Dunn does have some speed on the base paths. Here comes the 2-2. That one misses in the dirt and runs the count full to Chandler Taylor. Brewster's down 3-2. It's the bottom of the third. Chatham got out to an early 3-0 lead in the first inning, and then Brewster saw a 2-run shot from Hunter Bishop to make it the score that it is right now as Chandler Taylor calls for time. Steps out of the batter's box, and he's back in now, getting ready for the payoff pitch. Here it comes, and this one fouled on the first base side. Chandler Taylor staying alive in this one. Count still 3-2, and Mickey Gasper's on deck. And there's no outs. Kind of the meat of this order. Dua, Mickey Gasper, Curry, Costas, we could see all of them. All dangerous guys, and a dangerous guy at the plate right now in Chandler Taylor. Here comes the payoff pitch. That one misses way outside, and Chandler Taylor will get on via the walk, and Brewster has 2 base runners and no outs for Mickey Gasper.
Tell you what, Chandler Taylor was called out on strikes in that first inning on a pitch that was right on the outside corner, and it looked like Jacob Stevens was looking for a pretty similar pitch there, just kind of slipped out of his hand and missed it way off the target. And now a big spot here for Mickey Gasper.
And Mickey Gasper likes big spots. He has 26 RBIs on the year, a runner in scoring position for Brewster, and then Chandler Taylor at first. It's Nick Dunn at second. Stevens staring in. Here comes the first pitch to Gasper. That one squirts behind Roberts, the catcher, and Nick Dunn will jog into third. And Chandler Taylor will take second, so movement on the base paths, and now Brewster has 2 runners in scoring position for Mickey Gasper.
And that is a tough one for Chatham. I'm not sure how that's going to be scored, but I'm sure Cody Roberts is going to think that he should have had that baseball.
Mickey Gasper now back in the batter's box. Here comes the 1-0. This one hit hard to left center and will drop in for a hit. Nick Dunn on his way home. He'll tie the game up, crosses home, and Chandler Taylor slides in, and Brewster takes the lead. Mickey Gasper with a 2 RBI single, and now Brewster is on top 4-3.
Well, you said he loved big spots, Maura. That was a big hit from Mickey Gasper, just what the Whitecaps needed, taking advantage of the miscue behind the plate and then hitting a hard one into the right center field gap. That's what he's done all year for Brewster, adding to that RBI total.
Yeah, I'm serious when I say that I'm pretty sure they can hear us, because it seems like everything I say, they either get mad about it and prove me wrong or make me look really smart, as Mickey Gasper just did there. And there's going to be an infield meeting with Jacob Stevens and Coach John Schiffner. And looks like there will be a pitching change for the Chatham Anglers. So we'll take a quick break as Jacob Stevens' day is done on the mound. We'll tell you who's taking over for Chatham. When we come back, stick with us. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. So there is a pitching change for the Chatham Anglers. It's going to be Rodney Hutchinson Jr. on the mound. And who's surprised? He's a Tar Heel out of Chapel Hill. There is so many of them on the Cape. I believe there's 14 to be exact. The Brewster Whitecaps have a pair of them, and now there's one on the mound for the Chatham Anglers, and he'll have to face Michael Curry with Mickey Gasper on first and no outs. In this bottom of the third inning, Brewster just scored 2 runs after Mickey Gasper hit a 2 RBI single that brought home Nick Dunn and Chandler Taylor. Brewster was down 3-2 before this inning. They are now up 4-3. Hutchison out of Mason, Ohio, which I'm told is right outside of Cincinnati. Here comes the first pitch to Michael Curry. That one misses inside. Count's now 1-0 on Curry. Curry, a guy that's been a steady source of offense for Brewster as he fouls this one behind him. Count's now 1-1. Batting .293 on the year in the CCBL, and then Curry has an on-base percentage of .449. As he'll call time and dig in once again, get a couple practice swings in there. A big spot as Mickey Gasper's on first. No outs though, but a chance for Brewster to extend their lead. Hutchinson glances over at Mickey Gasper, who has a very small lead over at first. Here comes the 1-1. This one hit to the shortstop, Pena, who throws it over second, forces the out for Mickey Gasper, and completes the double play over at first. So Hutchinson gets Michael Curry to ground out into a double play, and just like that, there's 2 outs. for Marty Costas.
That was a mighty nice play by the second baseman. Shaw fielded that on the bare hand when he was turning that, didn't have to make the transfer. Got Michael Curry with plenty of time.
Now Marty Costas will come up to bat for the Brewster Whitecaps with nobody on and 2 outs. Here comes the first pitch from Hutchinson. That one misses below the knees. Count's now 1-0.
And with that double play, the line is official on Stevens. 2+ innings, 3 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout for the man from BC.
Here comes the 1-0. Fastball misses below the knees and squirts behind Roberts, and he'll go have a quick conversation with Hutchinson. 2 balls, no strikes for Marty Costas, who in his first at-bat was hit by a pitch from Jacob Stevens. Got him right on the shoulder, or right on the shin, excuse me, but was able to walk it off and cross home for the first run Brewster scored as Hill hit one, a line drive that drops in for a base hit on the right field side. And once again, Brewster has another runner on, and Hunter Bishop comes up to bat for the Whitecaps.
I've been impressed with how Marty Costas' approach at the plate has improved over the past few games. That was kind of an inside-out piece of hitting. That one was in on his hands, but he was still able to push it the opposite way. Nicely done to get on base.
And Hunter Bishop digs in almost the same position he was in when when he hit a 2-run shot that brought home both him and Marty Costas. Again, Marty Costas is at first, and Hunter Bishop will chop one into the second baseman, who underhands it over to Coppins at first and completes the out. That one very close. Hunter Bishop was almost able to beat that underhand toss, but he was not on the bag in time. So Brewster goes up 4-3 in this inning, takes the lead. We're through 3 innings of play. Stick with us. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wadeel and Maura Sheridan. We welcome you back to Stony Brook Field. We are starting the 4th inning of play here between the Whitecaps and the Anglers, and Brewster has officially rallied from that 3-0 deficit they had after just a half of an inning. They now lead 4-3 as we start the top of the 4th. It'll be the bottom third of Chatham's order. That's McGee, Landon Kay, and Mason Coppins due up. Starting with Ashton McGee, the one lefty hitter on this Chatham Anglers roster. The pitch to the lefty from Joe Molatier is cut on and missed. The pitch that was down and in to the lefty. Nice opening slider it looked like there from Molatier. Had some run on it. 0-1 is the count. McGee singled in a run his first time up. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It misses low to make the count 1 ball and 1 strike. And like a great many players in this game is from North Carolina. It seems like we're watching a Tar Heels inter-squad scrimmage sometimes here, especially when these two clubs meet. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball that's hit high in the air toward the left side. It's going to tail toward foul ground and wind up out of everybody's reach over by the Whitecaps bullpen out there on the left side. So the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes now on McGee. So far for Molatier, gave up those 3 runs, as I mentioned, in the top of the first inning, but has settled down just a bit. The stuff has not been as well commanded, if that is the best way to describe it, as it was the first 3 innings of that Wareham game. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses low. A good take there from the lefty Ashton McGee. Another one that was down and in. Makes the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Malatier staring in. He's working quickly. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Now 2 misses down and in. That one looked like that one just skipped. Might have skipped just right off of home plate. In any case, it whacked off of the foot of Pat Sparky Burns behind the plate, the umpire. 3-2 is the count. Waiting on a payoff pitch to McGee. And here comes the pitch from Malatier. It's a high chopper toward the right side. Charging is the second baseman Dunn. He fields it and flips to first for out number 1. So McGee is retired. The characteristic outward wind is back here at Stony Brook Field. It is heading out to maybe left center, though it can shift a bit, but is definitely gusting out toward the outfield wall. We saw Hunter Bishop on his home run. That ball just kept carrying and carrying. Probably had home run distance no matter what, but it wound up at the top of the hill and probably had a little bit of an assist from the wind. Anyway, here is Landon Kay, digging in from the right side. The pitch misses away. Skips back to the backstop to make the count 1 ball and no strikes. Kay grounded out to shortstop his first time up. That was in the first inning. That ended that frame. They sent 8 runners to the plate in that 3-run first, did Chatham. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. In there for a called strike on the outer edge to make the count 1 ball and 1 strike. It's 4-3 Whitecaps here on the top of inning number 4. On a sunny day at Stony Brook Field, much less cool than it was yesterday. Here comes the 1-1. Check swing on a pitch that was low. They appealed to first base, but Rick Del Vecchio says he didn't go. So 2-1 is now the count. These two teams are dead even in the standings, points-wise. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. It's hit hard on the ground. Backhanded nicely by Kyle Datchers at third base. He throws over to first, and the throw is in time. They got him. A nice play by Julian Infante to reach to his left to collect that throw. So a good play on both ends of a diamond for Brewster, and that's his second out of the top of the 4th.
Yeah, we saw a very similar play like that earlier in this game by Josh Shaw that Kyle Datchers couldn't glove, and then just kind of making up for that one. And backhanding it, a really nice play there from Kyle Datchers, and that throw was close. A good job by Julian Infante, too.
So that'll bring us to the 9-hitter Mason Coppins, who struck out swinging his first time up against Malatier. Here comes the pitch to the right-handed hitter. It's hit on the ground to shortstop. Graffinino will field it, and he will throw across for out number 3. So 3 baseballs on the ground do the trick for Joe Malatier. It's a 1-2-3 top of the 4th inning. At the end of 3.5 innings of play, it's Brewster 4, Chatham 3. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Waddiel and Maura Sheridan. Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development online at curry.edu. We're starting the bottom of the 4th, and it starts off with Kyle Datchers, who takes a big swing but fouls it back to the screen. Really took a rip at that one, did the UNC Tar Heel, who's up against his teammate in Rodney Hutchison Jr., who returns to the mound for the Chatham Anglers. We are in the bottom of the fourth. Brewster is ahead 4-3. And Gatchers hits the second pitch on the ground to second base. Moving to his right to field it is Shaw. He throws to first base for out number 1. So Gatchers takes 2 big swings at it. 1 foul ball and a hard ground ball toward the right side. And he is retired via a ground ball for the second time in this game. There's 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. Now here comes Julian Infante, another right-handed hitter for Brewster. It's worth noting the way the shadows are playing out here at Stony Brook Field. They're getting here earlier and earlier, as Yogi Berra would say. It's getting late early here at Stony Brook Field. The pitcher, Hutchison, is in sunlight right now, but the hitter, Infante, is in shadow. Here comes the pitch to the right-hander. And it's in there for a strike. That one broke nicely across the plate. The count is 0-1. It was up at the letters to Infante. Can make pitches like that, stuff with late movement. Talking about the sun and shadow, a little bit more difficult to pick up on if you're a hitter. The 0-1 pitch is a strong ground ball toward the left side. Moving to his right and fielding it is a shortstop, Pena. He throws to first in time for the out. Didn't sound like Infante got the right part of the baseball bat there, kind of similar to his first at-bat where he also grounded out. In any case, that's the 3rd straight ground ball that Hutchison has induced, 2nd of this inning, and there are 2 gone quickly in the bottom of inning number 4. Now it's A.J. Graffinino's turn. Seen a lot of balls on the ground here. This game, in total, has now seen 6 straight, going back to the end of the 3rd inning. Here comes the pitch to Graffinino. It's in there for a called strike. Count 0-1 on A.J. His first time up, Graffinino hit a fly ball to center field that was collected by Coppins for what was the last out of the 2nd. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's line foul, left side, out of play. So 0-2 now the count quickly on A.J. Graffinino. Rodney Hutchison Jr. is wasting no time on the mound for the Anglers. This is appearance number 7 for him, has just given up the 1 run all season long on the Cape. 0-2 pitch. In there, called strike 3, inside corner. Graffinino didn't like it, but that is strike 3. That's the first strikeout for Hutchison since he entered the game in a very quick bottom of the 4th inning. Ends with the Whitecaps going down in order. At the end of 4 innings of play, the Whitecaps lead 4-3. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. We welcome you back to Stony Brook Field. We do have one defensive change to let you know about. Devin Foyle is into left field, replacing Marty Costas. And here's Jeremy Pena. He will lead things off for Chatham. Top of the Anglers order due up here in the top of the 5th inning, and he swings and misses on a slider from Joe Molatier to start things off. Molatier's got that little sinking movement, and it really has been working these past couple of frames. Of course, got 3 ground balls in that 4th inning. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Pena. Misses down and away. As whacked off the mitt of Mickey Gasper and went back to the backstop. 1-1 now the count. This is the 3rd time up at the plate for Pena. He's got a walk and a strikeout. So still waiting on putting the baseball in play today. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's hit hard to left field. Foyle is right there, and he will play it on a hop for a base hit. Jeremy Pena reaches on a leadoff single here in the top of the 5th inning. That was a hard line drive, and Foyle looked like very quickly decided that he was Not going to try and go for that, not going to try and risk seeing a ball go through him and all the way to the wall, and played it on a hop. So Pena is aboard. And now it's going to be Josh Shaw's turn. Shaw hitting from the right side for Chatham. Had that hard ground ball off of Datris' glove and later scored in the first inning. Part of that 3-run first. It's now 4-3 Whitecaps in the top of the 5th. The first pitch misses on a breaking ball to make the count 1 ball and no strikes on Shaw. Shaw out of St. John's University in Queens, New York. They really had a very unexpected, a very good season. Did the Johnnies out of the Big East Conference. Had their best season by record that they've ever had as a program. 1-0 pitch is coming here from Molatier, who holds the set. Here it comes. It's in there for a called strike on the inner edge. So 1-1 now the count on Josh Shaw. Nice job locating there from Molatier. Pena is aboard first base. He's 2 out of 2, stealing bags this season for Chatham. Molatier comes set with the count 1-1. And he will throw to first base. And diving back in time is the Anglers' shortstop. Shaw's a rising junior, as Maura mentioned before, from Wayne, New Jersey. Great part of the state, a little bit north of Montclair. 1-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Misses down and away to Shaw. Shaw, this is his second year on the Cape. He was with the Cavaliers last season. Just wasn't the right fit for him, and now he's with the Chatham Anglers. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. It misses outside to make the count 3 balls and 1 strike. That looked like a very similar pitch there from Molatier. And again, Gasper having to reach across his body to field it. So 3-1 now the count. We're in the top of the 5th inning. It's 4-3 Whitecaps here at Stony Brook Field in Brewster. Here comes a 3-1 pitch. It's a high chopper toward the right side. Could be 2. Dunn scoops it up on 1 hop. Phipps to Graffinino for 1 on the first. Double play. Nicely done by Nick Dunn to come in and scoop that before it took its second hop on the infield grass. Made that turn a lot easier for Brewster. And the 4-6-3 DP means there are 2 gone on the top of the 5th. And what it also does is it means that Shea Langoliers will have to come up with the bases empty. Langoliers, the DH, the 3-hitter for Chatham, one of the more powerful hitters that you'll find on the Cape League this season. For Langoliers, he's reached base twice today, a hit by pitch in the first, and then an infield single in the third. The pitch to the right-hander misses up high. Looked like that one just didn't have quite enough bite to it there from Molatier. 1-0 the count on Langoliers. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's hit hard right to the third baseman, Datris, who gloves it for out number 3. Hit that one right on the screws, did Shea Langoliers, but Datris was where he needed to be, and that retires the side in the top of the 5th inning. For the Anglers in the top of the 5th, no runs, 1 hit, and thanks to that double play, they don't leave anybody on. At the end of 4.5 innings of play, the Whitecaps lead 4-3. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Waddell and Maura Sheridan. We welcome you back to Stony Brook Field. We're starting the bottom of the 5th inning, and it's the top of the Whitecap order due up. And the first pitch from Rodney Hutchison is in there for a called strike on the outer edge to the lefty swinging Nick Dunn, who has been aggressive in his first couple at-bats. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's a ground ball toward the left side, scooped up nicely on the backhand by McGee, the third baseman. He has trouble making the transfer, but he does make the throw to first base in time for the out. A nice job by Ashton McGee to recover there. A terrific play to backhand it, moving toward the foul line and in a little bit on a kind of a slow chopper, and then kind of bobbled the transfer for a little bit, but recovered just in time to nail Nick Dunn by a step at first base. So at the end of the day, it just goes in as 5-3 in the scorebook, and now it's another lefty hitter digging in for the Brewster Whitecaps. It's Chandler Taylor. Taylor so far today struck out looking in the first inning and then drew a walk and later scored in inning number 3. The Whitecaps up 4-3 here in the bottom of the 5th. The pitch to Taylor misses up and away on an opening fastball to make the count 1 ball and no strikes. Hutchison so far working quickly, has been very efficient on the mound. Here comes the 1-0. It's fouled off toward the left side. So 1-1 now the count. 1-1 the count on Taylor, who's going to ask for some time to dig in just a little bit more here. It looks like there's, well, maybe sunny from the waist up for the pitcher Hutchinson. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Misses inside to make the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Hutchinson is ready to go. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. It misses inside to make the count 2-2. Or 3-1 is the count on Taylor. Taylor did score in that 3rd inning. The Whitecaps, here comes a 3-1 pitch. It misses low for ball 4. So Taylor will advance to first base with 1 man out. We'd like to welcome into the booth. I know he's joined us a couple of times earlier this season. Whitecaps pitcher Tony Losi is here joining me. Tony had a terrific day yesterday, probably his best outing of the season. I think you would say that, Tony. 8 innings of shutout baseball, 3 hits allowed. He walked 2 and struck out 6. It was a big win for your team. What did it mean to get a 9-0 win yesterday?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I located low in the zone, did everything I needed to do, and the offense provided for me. That's great. Offense came out hitting. We put up 10 hits yesterday, no errors. I mean, we made all the plays behind me in defense, which was great.
Here's a guy who knows how to put up hits. Mickey Gasper digging in, the switch hitter batting from the left side, and the pitch from Hutchinson misses. No, it's in there for a called strike. Gasper showed bunt and pulled it back. It was right there on the outer edge, and Gasper will give a look to home plate umpire Pat Burns and take a minute before he decides to dig in again. He does. 0-1 is the count with Taylor aboard first base and 1 man out. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, the Whitecaps ahead 4-3 over the Chatham Anglers. On a gorgeous day for baseball here at Stony Brook Field. Runners going from second. 0-1 pitch is in there for a strike. They throw down to second base, and he is safe at second base. They say he got in ahead of the tag. Chandler Taylor didn't really slide there, just kind of stuck his foot out and got in there safely. But he was called safe by John Batalla over there at second, so the Whitecaps have a man in scoring position. Tony, I know Chandler Taylor is one of the guys that's been talking about when you guys have been talking about holding runners on. He's one of those guys that seems to be easily ignored when he's on the base paths.
Yeah, he is. A lot of guys get stolen bases that way. He just doesn't look like he's going, and he has sneaky speed and just fast enough to be able to get in there.
Time is called by Rick Del Vecchio over at second, I think. In any case, the catcher Roberts is going to go have a chat with Hutchinson. He's been very efficient on the mound at Hutchinson. That was just the second base runner that he has allowed since he entered the game in the bottom of the 3rd. He's gotten 5 ground balls for 6 outs. Got a double play on his first hitter. 0-2 is the count. Hutchinson holds the set, and here comes the pitch to Gasper. It's a high chopper toward the right side. Fielding it as the first baseman, Patton. He will wave off Hutchinson and go to the bag himself for out number 2, but Taylor moves up to 3rd.
That's still a great at bat, even though it's a ground ball right there. I mean, the pitcher just threw a foot off the plate, and umpire gives it to him for a strike, and Mickey wasn't going to leave it in his hands. Even though he got out, he was able to move the runner to 3rd with 2 outs. Give Michael Curry a chance to get RBI right here.
Is that something the team is trying to do, adjust pitch to pitch with what they're getting from umps?
It is. I mean, it's tough. I mean, the best thing you can ask for is consistent umpire. That's not always what we get, but it's part of the game.
Michael Curry, as you mentioned, Tony, digging in, your Bulldog teammate with a runner on third and 2 men out. And he takes a strike on a fastball to start things off. The count, no balls and 1 strike on Curry. Curry today has a fly ball to center and a ground ball double play to his name, as he's the first Whitecaps hitter to dig in against Hutchinson for a second time. 0-1 pitch is a chopper in front of the plate. The catcher, Roberts, will run out and field it and throw to first base in time for the out. A bit of a wild throw, but a nice job by Patton to grab that high toss there from the catcher, Roberts, and Sabat retires the side. The Whitecaps do not score. They leave 1 runner on, no hits in the 5th inning for Brewster. It's 4-3 Whitecaps after 5. Thanks for stopping in, Tony. We're through 5 innings at Stony Brook Field. It's 4-3 Brewster. We'll be back after this. Whitecaps Radio Network. We welcome you back to Stony Brook Field. Tony Losi is still with me here to start the top of the 6th inning. The Whitecaps have the lead. It's 4-3. It will be Josh Stowers, Nick Patton, and Cody Roberts due up against Joe Molatier for the Anglers. And Tony, Joe has done a terrific job of battling. He had a rough start to this game. Here comes the first pitch to the righty, and it misses outside. 1-0 the count.
Yeah, he has. He had a rough time finding the strike zone. Now he's really settled in, and he threw up, what is that, 4 scoreless now?
That is correct. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's a high chopper left side. It will be a foul ball in the judgment of third base umpire John Patala. That was awfully close to being ruled fair. That's one of those judgment calls where you have to see whether it's fair when it bounds over third base, and Patala saying it was foul. So 1-1 the count. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's hit high in the air to shallow right field. Coming in is Taylor, but he will play it on a hop. It's a base hit for Josh Stowers, a leadoff single for Chatham. Being informed that Joe Demers is taking some warm-up tosses out there for the Whitecaps in the pen. Or rather, Drew Reveneau is out there for Brewster. I'm sure, Tony, I know when Aiden was talking to you last night, he kind of talked about how you're really the guy for the staff at the portion. What can you see from your perspective about how this staff has changed with all the comings and goings that we've seen with this Brewster Whitecaps pitching staff this year?
Yeah, we just know we have to do a great job.
First pitch is inside to Nick Patton.
We all just have to do a great job, and it was just huge for our team yesterday that I can go 8 and save some of the bullpen because we're really going to need some. We actually have 2 guys coming in today. One of them's going to be my new roommate, and we'll see if they can do anything good for us, but Joe's doing a great job battling right now, going deeper in the game.
Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Runners going for second. The pitch is in there for a called strike. The throw down is not in time. It's a stolen base for Josh Stowers, his 11th of the season in 11 tries. He's done a terrific job of running on folks this year. And they're going to say that was a ball. That one just missed low. So 2-0 the count now on Nick Patton. So far today for Nick, he has a sac fly that scored the second run of the game for Chatham in the first and then walked him the third. 2-0 pitch to the right-handed hitter misses down and away. Tony, I know you faced this team twice now this year, or 3 times. A lot of right-handed hitters on this team. Only one lefty and a couple of switch hitters. Does that change your approach at all if you're Molatier?
It does not. I mean, this team's a really tough team to face. They always put balls in play, and they have good eyes.
The 3-0 pitch just misses low. You're talking about good eyes, Tony. A nice take on 3-0 from Patton. That one, again, just missed below the knees. So the second walk of the game for Nick Patton, and all of a sudden a bit of a rally here. 2 on and nobody out for Chatham with Cody Roberts digging in. And now Jamie Shevchik is heading over to the pitcher's mound. I mentioned that Reveno is out there taking some warm-up tosses. Haven't seen a single signal yet from the Whitecaps manager, but he is bringing in the full infield. Shevchik does this occasionally where he'll just come in to talk to maybe the pitcher or the infielders about a particular situation, saying, like, we don't want this guy to come in. Here's how you play this base running situation. And there's obviously a chance here. You got a guy, Cody Roberts, who coming into the game was hitting 121 and talked a bit with John Schiffner before he was ready to dig in. There's a chance that we could see a bunt on this play as well with first and second and nobody out. Ashton McGee is on deck for the Anglers. Still conferencing on the mound here is Jamie Shevchik, and it looks like Sparky Burns, the home plate ump, is going to have to go and tell them to disperse. And now he does. And we will not get a signal, it looks like, from Shevchik, so Molatier will stay in here. You and Joe Molatier have something in common, Tony. When you both have had starts where you've asked for the ball and when you've gone out to try and finish things up. I know Joe Molatier, when we were in Wareham, was it a couple of weeks ago, asked for the ball to come out in the 7th inning.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we're just both competitors. We love the ball. We want the ball, and this is basically what he's saying. These are his runs. If he's going to give them up, he's going to give them up. Give him a chance to get out of it.
So the first pitch to Roberts is bunted. It's in the air. It drops in front of the catcher, Gasper. He throws to first base, and the throw is in time. So the sacrifice is successful. Nearly a tricky play there. Gasper taking charge as Molatier was coming in from the pitcher's mound, but he was the one, Gasper, who threw it over. The runners move up. So it's second and third with one man out now here in the top of the 6th for the Anglers. They're trying to come back trailing 4-3. And that's something that Mickey Gasper has been able to do is for this team has been taking charge in every sense of the word. And right there, in a very literal sense, trying to just take that baseball. So McGee is up, the one lefty hitter on this Chatham roster. And the pitch misses down and away to start things off for him, 1-0 the count. McGee has a ribby single that made it 3-0 Anglers in the 1st inning. Grounded out his last time up in the 4th. Big spot here for Chatham, 2nd and 3rd and one man out. Here comes the pitch from Molatier. It misses up high. Makes the count 2 balls and no strikes. Molatier is now in shadow, so both the pitcher and the hitter are covered in shadow now, though the infield, especially the right side, is still in the sun. The 2-0 pitch is cut on and missed to make the count 2-1. Got McGee to bite on that one there, did Molatier. 2nd and 3rd and one man out. Whitecaps ahead 4-3 in the top of inning number 6. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. It's hit hard through the middle into center field for a base hit. Coming in to score is Josh Stowers. Nick Patton is held up at 3rd. Just hit that ball too hard. Did Ashton McGee, but he gets another RBI. And the Anglers have tied this game up 4-4 on a ribby single from McGee.
Yeah, it's just a good piece of hitting. 2-1 count. He got it where he wanted to. Little outside half of the plate and drove it to left center field. It's a great piece of hitting. That kid is also a freshman All-American this year at North Carolina. He's one good player.
Has doubled his RBI total in this ball game. Came in with just 2 ribbies on the Cape this year and has 2 hard-hit RBI singles. So it's now runners on the corners for Chatham and one man out. And now Landon Kay will dig in as Jamie Shevchik is coming out of the dugout and has signaled for the pitching change. So it looks like that is all she wrote for Joe Molatier. He leaves this game with one man out in the 6th inning and 1st and 3rd. A big spot here in this tied game. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network. All right, we welcome you back to Stony Brook Field. Carter Woodeel and Whitecaps hurler Tony Losi sitting in here for the top of the 6th inning. 1 run already in this frame for Chatham. They have tied the score at 4 on a ribby single from Ashton McGee, and that chased Joe Molatier from the game. And replacing him is Drew Reveneau, the man from the College of San Mateo. He'll be going to St. Louis University this coming spring. Just the second time that Reveneau has towed the rubber in a Whitecaps uniform. The last one came back on July 19th against Wareham. Went 3 innings, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits, walked 1, did get 4 strikeouts, and here is looking for a ground ball with the runners on the corners and 1 man out here in the bottom of, or the top of the 6th. He'll face Landon Kay, who's 0 for 2 with a pair of ground balls today. Here comes the pitch, and it skips in front of Mickey Gasper. A nice job by Gasper to glove it. We were talking about during the break, Tony, about how Gasper has been getting a lot of baseballs in the dirt today.
Yeah, he has. He's been our catcher all year. He's probably our best catcher overall, and he's caught a lot of games this summer. He's taking a toll back there, but he's a gamer, and he's sticking it out, and he's a great player.
Here comes the 1-0 pitch to the righty. In there for a called strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike the count on Landon Kay. Chatham jumped out to a 3-0 lead in this game, got a 3-run first inning. Brewster battled back with 2 each in the 2nd and 3rd, and now 1 in the 6th to tie the score again. 1-1 pitch, runners going for second. The pitch is down in front of Mickey Gasper. He blocks it, and the runner will move over to second base. And it's going to be 2nd and 3rd and 1 man out. They checked to see if he went and ruled that he did not go on the pitch. So said Rick Del Vecchio, who's the first base ump, but he's over at second now with 2nd and 3rd. For McGee, that's his first stolen base of a year. It's a good pitch to run on. The infield now in for Brewster. Here comes the 2-1. It's hit hard into left field. That one's going to dunk in there for a base hit. 1 run scores. Heading around is McGee. He's being waved home. The throw will be not in time. It's a 2-run RBI single for Landon Kay. His 2nd and 3rd ribbies of the season, and Chatham now takes a 6-4 lead here in the 6th.
Again, that's just tough as a pitcher. That bloopy ball that's easily caught by the shortstop or third baseman playing back, but with infield in, I mean, props to that hitter. He just got it far enough to get 2 RBIs on that one.
Landon Kay was 1 for 20 against Cape League pitchers this season. Before that hit, a 2-run single, and Chatham is back on top in this back-and-forth game. Now it's the 9-hitter Mason Coppins who will dig in. Still a double play, a possibility here with a runner on first base and 1 man out. The pitch to the righty is a looper to right field. That's going to dunk in there for a base hit. Stopping at second base is Landon Kay. Another single for Chatham, and it's 2nd and 3rd on the single from Coppins. Or 1st and 2nd, excuse me. And now it'll be Jeremy Pena as we're back to the top of the Anglers order. They're just stringing hits together right now, are the Anglers, against both Molatier and Reveneau here in this 6th inning. So Pena will dig in from the right side. Been a pretty good day for him at the plate. He's got a walk, a strikeout, and a single scored after that walk in the 1st inning. It's 6-4 Chatham on top with 3 runs in this 6th inning. Righty to righty, here comes the pitch. It misses up and away. Snap throw down to first base, and it is not in time. Infante bluffed a bit like he got him, but he looked like he did get back just in time to the runner at first base, Mason Coppins, who does have some speed to him. The center fielder by trade. 1-0 is the count on Jeremy Pena. Holding the set is Drew Reveneau, and here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's in there for a strike. 1-1 now the count. Pena digging in here. Reveneau again holding the set. The pitch. It's a line drive at 1 hopper right to Infante at first base. The only play is at first, and that's where he goes himself to make the 3 unassisted put out. That's the 2nd out of the top of the 6th. Runners move up a base, so it's 2nd and 3rd now for Chatham with 2 men away. That was kind of a tricky play there for Infante, who's still in the sun at first base. Little looper his way, got it on 1 hop, and now Josh Shaw will come up in a big spot. Reveneau does not want to wants to keep this inning right here, doesn't want this to turn into a real big inning from Chatham. 2nd and 3rd, 2 men out.
This is one of the biggest outs of the game right now.
Pitch to the right-handed hitter is in there for a strike on an opening fastball from Revenant to make the count 0-1 on Shaw. So far today for Shaw, he is 1-for-3, had an infield single and scored a run in the first. Hit into a double play his last time up in the fifth. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a pitch that was down and away. Gasper lost it for a minute, but got it in his glove. So no advance, and the count's 0-2. One of the bigger pitches of this ball game so far for Brewster. 0-2 the count. Righty to righty. Holding the set now is Revenant. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss, he got him. Strike three, a fastball that was up above the zone, and Josh Shaw chased at it. A big strikeout for Drew Revenant, and that retires the side. But Chatham is back on top in this ball game. They get 3 runs in the top of the 6th inning. They get them on 4 hits, and they leave 2 runners on base. At the end of 5.5 innings of play, it's 6-4. The Whitecaps trailing Chatham here at Stony Brook Field. Tony Losi, thank you so much for coming on today. We always are happy to have you in the booth.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll be back with the bottom of the 6th inning right after this on the Whitecaps Radio Network. We welcome you back to Stony Brook Field. Morris Sheridan is back with me. Carter Woodhill and Morris Sheridan here with you, starting the bottom of the 6th. Whitecaps trailing 6-4, and Devin Foyle is due up for the Whitecaps. And the pitch is in there for a called strike on the outside corner to the man hitting from the left side. Devin Foyle hitting lefty against the righty Hutchison, who's back out there for Chatham. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's hit hard on the ground, left side, moving to his right and fielding it is the shortstop Pena. He throws to first. It's a high throw. It pulls Patton off the bag, and he's safe at first base. That was a hot shot of a ground ball. Terrific job by Jeremy Pena to move over and field that, but the throw was just a little bit wayward, and Patton, with all of his height, still had to be pulled off of the bag. So it's a infield single for Devin Foyle in his first AB since replacing Marty Costas in left field, and the Whitecaps have a leadoff runner on. Now it's Hunter Bishop's turn. Bishop, of course, has the biggest hit of the game for the Whitecaps. Perhaps literally speaking, a long home run in the second inning, a 2-run shot that made it a 3-2 game. Whitecaps now trailing 6-4. The pitch to Bishop is cut on and missed on an off-speed pitch. Golfed in that one a little bit, did the Arizona State Sun Devil. That home run, it really didn't look like from our vantage point here right behind home plate, but Hunter Bishop got all of the baseball. He just put it up there, it carried, and he's so strong that he was able to lift it well out of the ballpark, all the way up toward the top of the little hill out in center field, where some folks were sitting out there in some lawn chairs and got a souvenir. 0-1 is the count on Bishop, with Foyle aboard first base for the Whitecaps. Here comes the pitch. He shows bunt and bunts it. It's fielded by the pitcher Hutchinson. He will go to first base for the out. So it's going to go in the book as a sacrifice for Hunter Bishop. I'm not sure if that was what he was intending at the beginning of that sequence, but in any case, he does move the runner over, and it's a runner on second base and 1 man out for Brewster. And Bishop, a guy who's got speed, has not been able to use it quite as effectively as he may like on the base path so far this season, but trying to catch the defense sleeping there. But at the end of the day, it's just a 1-3 sacrifice. And now it's Kyle Datris' turn with a man on second and 1 out. Righty to righty, here comes the pitch. It's in there for a called strike on the outside corner to make the count 0-1 on Datris. Datris, a ground ball victim twice in this ball game. The first one was against the starter Jacob Stevens, and the second one against Hutchinson, who has been very efficient since entering this game in the bottom of inning number 3. Here comes the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Looked like it was a bit out in front of that one. It counts 0-2. Hutchinson has done a terrific job of changing speeds for the Anglers. Fastball has a lot of life to it, and is able to pull the string with the off-speed stuff. 0-2 is the count. Hutchinson checks the runner at second and holds the set. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It misses outside, diving down and away to the righty Kyle Datris. So 1-2 is now the count on the UNC Tar Heel. Hutchinson is a rising junior from Mason, Ohio. That's outside of Cincinnati. Had a 4.14 ERA for UNC as one of their main relievers for the Tar Heels out of the pen. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It misses for ball number 2. That one in there at 91. 2-2 now the count on Kyle Datris. Chatham scored 3 runs in the top of this 6th inning to take the lead. 6-4. Whitecaps had battled back from a 3-0 deficit. Waiting on a 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. It's grounded foul behind the plate, so the count holds 2-2. Those 3 runs for Chatham came on RBI singles. The first was from Ashton McGee, a ribby single that scored Josh Stowers, and then a 2-run single from Landon Kay. Made it 6-4 Chatham. Both of those players very talented, but had struggled early on the Cape. Perhaps breaking out of some slumps. 2-2 is the count. Runner on second base, 1 out. Here comes the pitch. It misses inside. 3-2 is the count. That corner, the inside corner to righties and the outside corner to lefties, home plate ump Sparky Burns has been pretty generous with, but Hutchinson missed the target there. Roberts was looking for something down and away, had to reach the glove across, and that never helps when you're trying to get a call. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. It's hit hard into center field. That one's going to get down for a base hit. Foyle is heading around third, and he's going to be held up there at the last moment by Ryan Smythe. So it's just a hard hit single for Kyle Datris, and it's first and third for Brewster with 1 man out.
Yeah, that one was almost hit too hard, as you like to say, kind of like the Ashton McGee hit. Just too hard, right to center, and a smart play by Smythe there to hold Foyle up. He does have the speed. He might have been able to, but with a 2-run game, you don't want to risk that, just 1 out. It's not worth the risk.
And now Infante, a guy who has had plenty of clutch hits for Brewster, is digging in as well. Infante, a right-handed hitter. He also has a pair of ground balls to his name. And it looks like we're getting a visit from Chatham's pitching coach up on the mound. Talking to Hutchinson, who's done a terrific job for the Anglers since he started things off in the bottom of the third, gotten a ton of outs on the ground. 6 of the hitters that he has retired have come on the ground, and 7 if you want to count the bunt attempt from Hunter Bishop. And a big spot now for Julian Infante. This has been an interesting game, and one thing to keep in mind, this hasn't been the quickest game, certainly not when you compare it to yesterday's game against Hutuit, which despite its 9-0 scoreline really was moving quickly. It's getting late early out here. The darkness is creeping up earlier and earlier as the summer gets later. The shadows get longer. Right now, the left side of the infield is almost entirely in shadow, as is the pitcher and the hitter. Right field is always the last to go here at Stony Brook Field, so that's still sunny. But this is all a long-winded way of saying that going the full 9 is not a given tonight or any night in July for the rest of this home schedule for the Whitecaps. Here comes the pitch to Infante. He's out in front of it, swings and misses for strike number 1. First and third for Brewster with 1 man out. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Whitecaps are trailing 6-4. Infante taking his time as usual. The count is 0-1. No action in the bullpen for Brewster. They're going to bring Reveno out, it looks like, for the next inning. Going to need some length out of him. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's at high in the air, a sky-high pop fly right over the second base bag and into shallow center field. The shortstop, Pena, will make the grab maybe a step or two beyond the edge of the infield dirt, and that's the second out.
Well, Julian Infante got jammed up on that one because, a sac fly would have done it, brought Devin Foyle home, but it seemed like he just got jammed up, and that's exactly the pop fly you don't want there at second, just too high and in the infield. Not going to bring anybody home.
Yeah, you never want a pop fly in that spot. You're absolutely right, Maura. And now a big spot here for A.J. Graffinino. Was 0 for 2, struck out his last time. You have to think it's his responsibility to try and get that run in from third base with 2 men out. The pitch is hit hard right to the shortstop, Pena. He fields it on one hop and flips to second, and they were going to try and complete a double play, which they didn't need to do because there were 2 men out. The second baseman, Shaw, kind of threw it over anyway, but in any case, it's a fielder's choice, 6-4, and the side is retired. 6 innings now in the books here at Stony Brook Field for the Whitecaps in the bottom of the 6th. They get no runs on a pair of hits and leave 2 runners on. Through 6, it's 6-4 Chatham on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Waddiel and Maura Sheridan.
Welcome back to Stony Brook Field. It's going to be Langoliers, Stowers, and Patton all due up for the Chatham Anglers, who are up 6-4 on the Brewster Whitecaps. Drew Reveneau still on the mound for Brewster. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Here comes the first pitch from Reveneau. That one just misses on the outside. Counts now 1-0 on Langoliers. Langoliers is 1 for 2 today. He has gotten on twice. He was hit by a pitch in the first, as this next pitch from Reveneau again misses, this time below the knees. Counts 2-0. Langoliers also got a single in the third. And his last at-bat in the 5th had a line drive as he pops this one up to center field. Hunter Bishop on the move, and he's backing up, and that one will hit the wall. So Langoliers keeps going. He will go all the way to third, and he touches third safely. So that is going to be a triple over the head of Hunter Bishop in center field for Shea Langoliers to start out this top of the 7th inning for the Chatham Anglers. So now another run 90 feet away for the Chatham Anglers.
Second triple of the year for Shea, and you wonder if the wind was kind of the culprit there, because Hunter Bishop had a strange route to the ball. It looked like, he's a terrific defensive center fielder, has a ton of speed, that he was going to be able to get to that baseball. And as you mentioned, Maura, still allowed it to hit the wall out there in center. You wonder if the wind kind of gusted a little bit when he wasn't expecting it. But in any case, it's now a pressure situation right off the bat. No pun intended for Reveneau.
And now comes Josh Stowers up to bat for the Chatham Anglers. Reveneau with the first pitch. This is down and away, moves the count to 1-0 on Stowers. Stowers looking to add to his RBI total. He has 8. Runner on third for the Chatham Anglers. 1-0. That one finds the strike zone, moves the count to 1-1 on the Illinois native. Went to school at Mount Carmel, and there has been a lot of successful athletes to come out of that high school in Chicago. To name a couple, or one that really stands out to me as a Cuse fan, Donovan McNabb, as the next pitch misses in the dirt. Counts now 2-1. Mickey Gasper, as we were talking about before, he's had to move a lot today, get in the dirt. You can tell he's getting a little frustrated out there. The count's 2-1 as he back in his crouch now. Revenue staring in. Again, runner on third, 90 feet away for the Chatham Anglers. Here comes the 2-1. This one hit high by Stowers into left field. Devin Foyle gets under it, makes the grab, and Langeliers will make his way to home and score for the Chatham Anglers. So it is now 7-4 on a sacrifice fly from Josh Stowers. Makes this a 3-run game.
Just doing his job. It was something that we were talking about in that last frame, where Brewster got a pop fly off the bat of Julian Infante when they could have used a hit like that. Nicely done by Stowers to just give some lift to that baseball and get another RBI.
Yep, that's RBI number 2 on the day for Stowers. The first one came on a fielder's choice in the first inning, as the first pitch to Nick Patton misses up high. Counts 1-0 on the first baseman today for the Chatham Anglers. Here comes 1-0. That one finds a strike zone. Off-speed pitch that drops in. Moves the count to 1-1. Patton has an RBI to his name today. A sacrifice fly in the first inning as the next pitch is moves the count to 2-1. Patton also has 2 walks to his name today. He did come home in the 6th inning when Ashton McGee brought him home to make this game 5-4, as this next pitch again finds a strike zone. Count evens at 2 to Patton. Nobody on for the Chatham Anglers, but they're up 7-4 on the Brewster Whitecaps. This next pitch squirts behind Mickey Gasper and runs the count full. Just kind of found the 5-hole there on the catcher from Bryant. Revenue holding the set. Here comes the payoff pitch. This one swung on and fouled on the first base side, high and away, and will drop out of play. So Patton stays alive in this count, trying to work his 3rd walk of the game. As I mentioned, he already has 2. But those were both against Joe Molletier. Revenue yet to walk anybody in his short stint on the mound today. Here comes the payoff pitch again. This one again, fouled. Same spot. Up and away. Patton really making Revenue work for this out. There is 1 out already. We saw it on a sac fly that brought home the 7th run of this game for the Chatham Anglers. Here comes the payoff pitch again, and that will be a strike. A called strike there from the home plate ump. Patton is not pleased with that call. He's still kind of looking back, shaking his head, but that is going to be 2 outs. Drew Revenue gets his first strikeout of the day. And Cody Roberts will now enter the batter's box for the Chatham Anglers with 2 outs and nobody on.
Yeah, I must admit, it has been a little bit tough to nail down the strike zone from Sparky Burns behind the dish. That one on the outer edge to the righty. That hasn't been a corner that's been too often disputed in this game.
Cody Roberts will foul the pitch into the netting behind him. Counts 0-1 on Revenue. Roberts behind the plate today for the Chatham Anglers. Walked in his first at-bat in the first inning. And then has had 2 groundouts in his last 2 as he'll chop one foul on the third base line. Counts now 0-2 on Roberts. The UNC Tar Heel teammates with Zach Gahagan, Kyle Datris. Feels like the entire Tar Heel squad is down here in the Cape this summer. They had a very, very good year. Finished 44-11. As Revenue misses down and away, counts now 1-2. Roberts was selected in the 38th round to the Miami Marlins. Zach Hagan followed him in the 39th round. Both have decided to come back to UNC as Roberts fouls this one into the netting behind him. So the Tar Heels had 3 first-rounders, so a bunch on the first day and a bunch on the last day. It was a Tar Heels-filled MLB draft. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Drew Revenot holding the set. Here comes the pitch. A swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Drew Revenot to end this inning. But the Chatham Anglers do score, make it a 7-4 game. They're on top of the Brewster Whitecaps after 6.5 innings of play. Stick with us. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Waddell and Maura Sheridan.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians, expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Well, it's going to be the top of the order, due up for the Brewster Whitecaps. Nick Dunn, Chandler Taylor, Mickey Gasper, all set to hit in this bottom of the 7th inning, and the Brewster Whitecaps offense has to make up. They are down 7-4, 3 runs stand between a tie game here, and as we've talked about before, as Nick Dunn fouls the first pitch on the third base line, it is getting dark quickly. It's only 7 o'clock, but shadows are covering the entire third base side. As the 0-1 is a line drive that Jeremy Pena is able to grab at shortstop, and that will retire Nick Dunn to start out this bottom of the 7th inning.
That's tough as a hitter to start off the inning like that for Dunn. I'm sure he was happy with the contact that he was able to make, pushing that the other way, right to the shortstop.
And now it's Chandler Taylor's turn. Taylor has walked twice today in the 3rd and the 5th. As he'll take the first pitch from Hutchinson for a strike. Counts now 0-1. In his first at-bat, though, against Jacob Stevens, Chandler Taylor did strike out. Here comes the 0-1, as he will break his bat, looks like almost in half. Split it right up the middle there, did Chandler Taylor, as he fouled off a ball just behind him. The piece of the bat went flying into the infield, as it was actually Patton that ran over and grabbed it and gave it to the bat boy, and Chandler Taylor will get a new stick as he walks into the dugout and now is strolling back out for the Whitecaps. The score is 7-4. The Chatham Anglers are on top of the Brewster Whitecaps. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning, and there is 1 out. Brewster trying to make it 2 in a row, as they took a win yesterday against Cotuit. Chatham trying to get back to their winning ways. They lost to YD 7-2 last night. This is a big matchup, as we've talked about, for both teams. They're both locked in at 3rd in the East Division. Here comes the 0-2. That misses on the outside corner. Counts now 1 ball, 2 strikes on Chandler Taylor. Next pitch from Hutchinson again, misses down and away. Counts 2-2. Now on Taylor. Hutchinson holding the set. He replaced Jacob Stevens in this game, hasn't allowed a run as Chandler Taylor hits one to the second baseman Shaw, who's on the move, and makes the throw over to first to retire Chandler Taylor. So 2 up, 2 down in this bottom of the 7th inning. And now Mickey Gasper up to bat with 2 outs and nobody on.
That's more of a kind of out that Hutchinson's looking for, something that's just pounded into the dirt for a ground ball. And now nobody on for one of the better hitters in this Whitecaps lineup.
Mickey Gasper now up to bat. We've seen him behind the plate today for Brewster. He's had to work for a lot of balls as he'll take the first pitch for a strike. Counts 0-1 on Gasper. Gasper does have 2 RBIs today. They came off of a 2 RBI single in the 3rd inning. That brought home Nick Dunn and Chandler Taylor as the next pitch taken for a strike by Gasper. So Gasper 1 for 3 on the day. Here comes a 1-1. That one misses on the outside. Counts now 2-1 on Mickey Gasper. There's 2 outs. Brewster just trying to get a base runner on in this inning as Mickey Gasper will foul one on the third base side, make the count 2-2. Hutchinson came in for Jacob Stevens and has been fantastic for this squad as Mickey Gasper will foul one high. Cody Roberts takes off his mask, but that one will drop right in to the bleachers. One of the fans almost had a good grab there, just slipped through their fingers, so the count's now 2-2. On Mickey Gasper, staying alive in this one. Again, just trying to get some offense going against Hutchinson. There is another pitcher warming up for the Anglers, but you gotta imagine the Hutchinson's gonna stay out here as Mickey Gasper hits one high into left center, and on the move is Coppins, and he'll make the grab. Had to move a little bit from center to make that catch, but 1, 2, 3 inning for the Chatham Anglers. They retire all the batters they face, and the score is still 7-4 after no runs, no hits, and nobody left on for the Brewster Whitecaps. Chatham leads. Brewster, stick with us. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Waddiel and Maura Sheridan.
Welcome back to Stony Brook Field. We just saw the top of the order hit for Brewster, and we'll now see the bottom of the order hit for the Chatham Anglers. It's going to be McGee, Kay, and Coppins all up to bat for the Chatham Anglers, and they'll face a new Brewster pitcher. The third one we've seen today, it's going to be Will Tribuker. He's coming in to replace Drew Reveneau on the mound. We're seeing him take a couple of practice pitchers. He's a lefty, which should be interesting. Most of this lineup for the Chatham Anglers are righties, as we've talked about before. Tribuker getting his practice pitches in. He's out of Michigan. He has a 5.40 ERA. This is the 9th game, and the 7th in relief we've seen him in. Has 18 and a third innings pitched. Allowed 13 runs, 11 of those earned. Walked 15 and struck out 21. Sometimes command on the mound can be an issue for Will Tribuker. Does have a lot of walks this season. Here comes the first pitch to Ashton McGee. That one's below the knees. Counts now 0-1 on the UNC Tar Heel, which I've been saying all day today. ACC Freshman of the Year is McGee. The 0-1. That one misses below the knees. Counts now 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That one finds a strike zone. Drops in for a strike from Will Tribuker. Counts now 1-2 on the third baseman for the Anglers today. Does have an RBI to his name in the last inning. As McGee will call time. Take a couple of practice swings. Just get back into the batter's box. McGee also came home in that 6th inning. A big 6th inning for the Chatham Anglers, where they took the lead, as Tribuker's next pitch misses outside. Counts now 2-2. In that 6th inning, the Chatham Anglers scored 3 runs off of 4 hits. They added to that in the last inning, scoring 1 run to make this the score that it is, as a breaking ball just misses, and McGee has to kind of duck out of the way on that one. So counts now full to number 38 for the Anglers. Here comes the payoff pitch. That one fouled on the third base line. A hard hit foul towards the bullpen for the Brewster Whitecaps. So we'll do it again. The count is still full on McGee. McGee's 2 for 3. Also has a single to his name in the first inning. Here comes the payoff pitch again. Swing and a miss, and Will Tribuker got him to strike out. Tribuker retires the first batter he sees in this game on a strikeout. A good start for Will Tribuker, and that's 3 strikeouts in a row for Brewster Whitecaps pitching, as we saw Reveneau strike out the last 2 batters he saw in Nick Patton and Cody Robertson. Will Tribuker just picking up where Reveneau left off, and it's going to be Landon Kay on the mound, or in the batter's box, excuse me, as Will Tribuker on the mound throws in a breaking ball that finds a strike zone. Counts now 0-1. Kay has 2 RBIs to his name today. Had a single in the 6th that brought home both Roberts and Patton and McGee. Made this a 6-4 game, as Mickey Gasper runs out to the mound to have a quick word with Will Tribuker. Landon Kay getting in some practice swings.
The line on Reveneau, who Tribuker is coming in to replace. An inning and 2/3 allowed, 3 hits, 1 run allowed. It was earned. He walked nobody and struck out 3.
Here comes 0-1. That one misses outside. Counts now 1-1. Here comes the 1-1. That one hit hard into center field. Hunter Bishop on the move, and he will make the grab. Hunter Bishop had to sprint to that one. It was tailing towards the right side, but able to get under it, make the grab, and that's going to be 2 up, 2 down for Will Tribuker.
Man, that was a great route to that baseball from Bishop. We haven't seen maybe the best routes from him all night, but that was a great one. He got a good jump and needed to, because that was one of those baseballs that's kind of tailing over. That one over toward right center. Bishop was able to make the play on the run.
And now it's the number 9 hitter up to bat for the Chatham Anglers. It's going to be Mason Coppins. Here comes the pitch. He shows bunt and takes it for a strike. Counts 0-1. Brewster trails 7-4 against the Anglers, trying to work their way back into this one, as Will Tribuker's pitch misses down and away. Counts now 1-1. Tribuker taking a big breath on the mound. Here comes the pitch. That one fouled on the third base line. And just barely is called foul by the third base ump there. We didn't see Kyle Datras really move for it, but kind of heard the crowd gasp a little bit. But that one is called a foul. Coppins will come back into the batter's box, and the count is 1-2.
Another judgment call for John Batalla over at third. We saw another real close play when the baseball was heading over third base earlier in this ball game. Both times he said it was foul.
Here comes the 1-2. That one hit this time fair on the first base line. Julian Infante unable to get there. Coppins over to second and slides in, and he will be safe. So that's a sliding double for Mason Coppins with 2 outs. A big play there from Coppins puts a runner in scoring position yet again for the Chatham Anglers.
Yeah, great piece of opposite field hitting. That was headed, as you said, more right down the right field line. It was lined like a bullet despite the fact that it was going the opposite way. A terrific job to set the table to see if the leadoff guy can try and tack on another run here.
And it's going to be Jeremy Pena up to bat. 2 outs, runner at second. Has a first pitch from Tribuker. Drops in for a strike. Count to 0-1. Pena's had a good day for himself. Did struck out in the second, as he'll foul this one. Just tip it off his bat. Moves the count to 0-2. Tribuker getting ahead in this one. As I mentioned, Pena walked and was able to score in the first, struck out in the second, and had a single in the fifth, although he was left on in that inning. And his last at-bat grounded out right to Julian Infante. At first, who was able to step on the bag, as Tribuker throws in a ball, and the runner, Coppins, with the speed he has, moves to third. Mickey Gasper thought about throwing it down there, but just kind of faked it out. Coppins was into third easily, so now a runner 90 feet away for the Chatham Anglers. Pena fouls off a breaking ball right towards the dugout of his own team. Count still 1-2. On the leadoff hitter for the Chatham Anglers. Tribuker holding the set, staring in at Mickey Gasper, decides on a signal. Here comes the 1-2. This one again, foul tip. That one bounced off the dirt and then came back and hit Pena right in the shoulder, but able to walk it off. No problem. Count still 1-2. He remains alive in this one. Tribuker's ready on the mound. Pena enters the batter's box. Here comes the pitch. This one fouled right towards us in the press box. Counts still 1-2. Pena making Will Tribuker work in this at bat. Will Tribuker had a quick first 2 batters he faced. He got McGee out via the strikeout, then Landon Kay have a pop fly, but Mason Coppins just hit a double as this next pitch from Tribuker misses below the knees. Counts now 2-2. Mason Coppins, as I mentioned, had a double and then stole third as Jeremy Pena hits one right to Will Tribuker at first. He's gloves it and then drops it, picks it up again, makes the throw in time, avoids a bit of a scare there, and completes the inning with no runs crossing for the Chatham Anglers. They'll get 1 hit and leave 1 on in this top of the 8th inning. The Chatham Anglers are still on top of the Brewster Whitecaps 7-4. Tune in for some more Brewster Whitecaps baseball on the way. Stick with us. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadeel and Maura Sheridan.
Curry, Foyle, Bishop due up for the Brewster Whitecaps. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. Time's running out for Brewster if they want to make a comeback. They're down 7-4. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning here at Stony Brook Field. And there is a pitching change as Michael Curry swings hard and misses at the first pitch he sees from Jack DeGroat for the Chatham Anglers. He's on the mound right now. He was an East Division All-Star. He has an ERA of 0. 9.2 innings pitched and only allowed 2 hits as this next pitch from DeGroat squirts behind Cody Roberts behind the plate. Counts now 1-1 on Michael Curry. Curry trying to get something going today. He's 0 for 3 at the plate as DeGroat with the 1-1. This one hit high into left field. Stowers gets under it and makes the grab to get the first out. Michael Curry goes down via the pop fly. And there's just 2 more outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Brewster, again, just trying to mount a comeback down 3.
Yeah, that was pretty well hit out to left field, straightaway left, but it seems like Michael Curry, that's been what's happening a lot with him these past few games. Just getting under baseballs, just not getting the wood to the horsehide as squarely as he would like. That was well hit, but got under it, and it was a little lazy fly ball to left.
Devin Foyle now entering the batter's box, takes the first pitch below the knees, counts 1-0 on Foyle. Foyle replaced Marty Costas in this game, playing over in left field today for the Whitecaps. The 1-0 on its way. This one again drops below the knees, counts now 2-0 on Foyle. Foyle, in his last at-bat, had an infield single. We saw him just outrun a throw to first. The throw was a little high, and Patton wasn't able to touch the bag in time as Foyle takes this next pitch for a strike. Counts now 2-1 on the Kansas Jayhawk. Here comes the pitch. That one just below the knees. Counts now 3-1 on Devin Foyle. Foyle's kind of created a role for himself on the Brewster Whitecaps team. Comes in when they need him in substitution type positions, but he's been playing well recently as he takes the next one for a ball and gets a runner on for the Brewster Whitecaps and Hunter Bishop.
Hey, you're right, Maura, where Foyle has kind of been just the first man off the bench in terms of outfielders for Jamie Shevchik and coming in for Marty Costas pretty early in this game, coming on and getting a single and a walk out of it. And you're right. I think Jamie Shevchik, it feels like forever ago, a couple of weeks ago, when he was talking about how people were going to have to get used to defined roles. Like, Foyle's found his role, and he's doing well.
First pitch to Hunter Bishop, a swing and a miss. Swung hard at that one. Counts now 0-1. Devin Foyle on first. Hunter Bishop, we saw him homer earlier today in the second inning, a 2-run shot that brought home Marty Costas. Take the next pitch below the knees, counts 1-1. On the center fielder for the Whitecaps today, since that home run, Bishop has been silent as he grounded out in the third and had a bunt that he couldn't quite beat out in the sixth, as he'll once again cut on and miss. Counts now 1-2. Hunter Bishop swinging hard. He's a very aggressive guy at the plate. Jamie Shevchik at the beginning of the season said that he wanted Bishop to show a little more plate discipline, but he is a guy that's aggressive. You gotta like that as Bishop hits one high into center field. Going back is a center fielder, Coppins. That one will hit the wall. Hunter Bishop moving into second. Foyle will stay at third. Ryan Smythe will have Devin Foyle stay at third. Hunter Bishop with a standing double, moving a runner in 90 feet away with the tying run at the plate now for Brewster in Kyle Datris.
Well, another hard-hit baseball for Hunter Bishop. Maybe he's starting to break out here. Had a pretty good game yesterday in a 9-0 win, and now here today with a couple of hard-hit balls at the center field. The home run and that one out to straightaway center as well. That one had a chance, very nearly left the ballpark, and now a big spot for Kyle Datris. You've got to take advantage of his opportunity for Brewster trailing late in this game.
There is one out for the Brewster Whitecaps. Runners on second and third. Kyle Datris, in his last at-bat, had a single as he takes a first pitch, a fastball in for a strike. Counts now 0-1 on Kyle Datris. Before the sixth inning, though, he had struggled a little bit, grounded out in his first two at-bats, but had a nicely hit ball to right field as the 0-1 goes above his head. Interesting, Kyle Datris had to duck out of the way, and that one went above his head, so the count's now 1-1 on Kyle Datris. Datris has been kind of a quiet leader, him and Nick Dunn on this team. They don't say much, but as the 1-1 is taken down and away, counts now 2-1. They're not chatterboxes, I wouldn't say, but the two of them say they lead by example, and Jamie Shevchik likes what he sees with them and puts them in the lineup as often as possible. 2 balls, 1 strike on Kyle Datris. Here comes the pitch. That one misses. Up and away on the outside. Counts now 3-1 on the third baseman for the Whitecaps. Takes a couple of practice swings. A big position and a big pitch here for DeGroat. Here comes the 3-1. Kyle Datris fouls that one into the netting behind him and works the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Kyle Datris. Again, runners on second and third.
He's never really been one to shy away from big spots in terms of his approach to the plate, has he, more? Just fouling pitches off, staying comfortable in the batter's box.
Here comes the payoff pitch. A swing and a miss. Kyle Datris slams his stick into the ground. He is not happy that on that one. Kyle Datris goes down on a strikeout. And now there's 2 outs, runners on second and third for the Brewster Whitecaps. And Julian Infante enters in a tough position.
Yeah, that's tough for Kyle Datris. You put together a great at-bat, and then it's a high fastball that gets you when he swings and misses for strike 3. You kind of understand the frustration as you were talking about slamming down the bat, and now a huge spot for Julian Infante. You know, it looks like we'll probably be able to play 9 innings tonight with the way that this past few innings have gone, the way the weather, the light is looking right now. But no matter what, you have to feel like if Brewster doesn't put up a run here in this 8th inning, it's going to be real disappointing for the club. And Infante with a lot of pressure right now to try and drive at least foil in from third, but he's got speed on both bases right now.
As the Chatham pitching coach comes out to have a quick word with DeGroat and Cody Roberts behind the plate. Roberts now retreating back to his position as Julian Infante is stepping up to bat for the Brewster Whitecaps. Again, 2 outs. Devin Foyle on third, Hunter Bishop on second. Infante taps his bat down, getting ready for the first pitch from DeGroat. And here it comes. That one taken on the inside corner for a strike. Counts 0-1 on the Nashville native. Infante has only been here for 16 games. Already has 12 RBIs on the year. Here comes the 0-1. That one misses on the inside. A very similar spot there from DeGroat, but 1 ball, 1 strike to Julian Infante.
Terrific pitch. That was started up and in and dropped in, just barely missed the inside corner in the eyes of Sparky Burns.
Staring in is DeGroat. Here comes the 1-1. A breaking ball that misses high. 2 balls, 1 strike on Julian Infante. Infante stepped up in clutch moments. We've seen it a couple of times. The first time he was here in 2017 with the Whitecaps, he had an RBI that tied the game. Here comes the 2-1. That one a called strike on the outside corner. Julian Infante didn't quite like that one. But 2 balls and 2 strikes. And DeGroat a strike away from getting out of this jam here with runners on second and third. Infante getting support from the dugout. Here comes the 2-2. A swing and a miss, and DeGroat does indeed get out of this jam. Back-to-back strikeouts. He got Kyle Datris and Julian Infante swinging, and that will leave 2 runners on. Hunter Bishop and Devin Foyle are left stranded for the Brewster Whitecaps. They do not score a run in the bottom of the 8th inning. One more inning to play. Chatham up 7-4 on Brewster. Stick with us. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Waddiel and Maura Sheridan.
Shaw, Langeliers, and Stowers all due up for the Chatham Anglers. We're in the top of the 9th inning, and Will Tribuker still on the mound for Brewster. He came in relief for Reveno, who came in for Joe Molatier, as Tribuker throws the first pitch on the outside. That misses for ball 1 to Josh Shaw. Counts now 1-0 on Shaw. Shaw's 1 for 4 today. His lone hit came in the first, as Tribuker paints the outside corner for a 1-1 count now to Shaw. Since his single in the first, Shaw's been quiet, has 2 ground outs in the second and the fifth, and a strikeout on a fastball as he'll hit one high into right field. Chandler Taylor on the move, and he will drop that one. So Chandler Taylor drops the fly ball. He was sprinting towards it, thought he had it, but it turns out to be a double for Josh Shaw. He gets into second on that one. Tough break there for the Brewster Whitecaps, as it's going to be scored an E9. It's kind of tough out there in right field right now. That's the only place that has a little bit of sunlight, so you got to wonder if that played a factor in that. But Chandler Taylor was sprinting towards that ball. It was almost foul. Nevertheless, it's an E9, and there's a runner on second. Shea Langeliers now up to bat, takes the second pitch, to move the count to 1-1. Langeliers 2 for 3 on the day. Next pitch finds a strike zone. Count is now 1-1. Langeliers was hit by a pitch in the first, had a single in the third, hit a nice line drive in the fifth, but right to Kyle Datris, so that was an out, as he'll foul this one right into the netting behind him. Counts now 1-2. And then in his last at-bat in the 7th inning, Langeliers had a triple that was over the head of Hunter Bishop in center, hit the wall, and Langeliers was able to come into third and then eventually score to make this the 7-4 game that it is right now. Here comes the 1-2. That one again fouled, this one into the netting straight behind him. Counts now remains 1-2 on Langeliers. Langeliers coming off of a fantastic season with the Baylor Bears, where he was named Big 12 Freshman of the Year. The Anglers have the Big 12 Freshman of the Year in Langeliers and the ACC Freshman of the Year in Ashton McGee, as once again Langeliers fouls it, this time high and towards the hill on the first base side. Count remains 1-2. There's a runner on second and in scoring position for the Chatham Anglers and for Shea Langlers. Here comes the 1-2. That one misses outside. A slow breaking ball there from Will Tribuker. Moves the count to 2-2. Here comes the 2-2. Once again, Langlers fouls it. This one hard and into the cage behind him. Stays alive in this at-bat. Again, just making Will Tribuker work.
We've seen a couple of guys fish for fastballs, talking about Anglers against Tribuker, and so far it seems Langlers is countering that by just fouling a bunch of them back.
As Tribuker gets a swing and a miss from Langlers. A big strikeout there for Will Tribuker. Gets the hot-hitting Langlers to swing and miss at a fastball there, so Langlers will walk back to the dugout, and it's going to be Josh Stowers up to bat for the Chatham Anglers. Remember, Josh Shaw is at second as Tribuker. His fastball misses up high, counts now 1-0. Shaw's at second due to an E9 over in right field from Chandler Taylor. Here comes the 1-0. This one a pop fly high. Looks like it's staying in the infield. Nick Dunn, the second baseman, calling it off. But the right fielder, Chandler Taylor, at the last minute called Nick Dunn off. Makes the grab. Almost a collision there, but Chandler Taylor gets that high pop fly, and now there is 2 outs in the top of the 9th.
Yeah, it really was right in that Bermuda Triangle area, that borderline out there in shallow right, and I think you're right more in saying that Taylor was a little bit late with that call, but no collision, made the out. That's all you can ask for.
And now it's Nick Patton up to bat, trying to still drive this runner home. It's Josh Shaw at second for the Chatham Anglers, but now there is 2 outs for Nick Patton. He does have an RBI today, a sacrifice fly in the first inning. Here comes the pitch to Patton. That one misses up high, counts 1-0. Tribuker holding the set. Here comes the pitch from the lefty. The 1-0 finds the strike zone on the inside corner. A nice pitch there from Will Tribuker. Counts now 1-0, 1-1 for the Michigan Wolverine. Pitching against a Delaware Blue Hen in Nick Patton. Here comes the pitch. That one hit to A.J. Graffinino, who is able to field it, throw it over to Julian Infante, and complete the inning. So once again, Will Tribuker does not allow a run to come home. No hits in this inning. We do see an error over in right field. No runs come through, and just 1 left on for the Chatham Anglers. 3 more outs to go in this game. Brewster trying to rally. They're down 7-4. Stick with us. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Waddell and Maura Sheridan.
Adam Wolf will be on the mound for the final 3 outs for the Chatham Anglers. It's the bottom of the 9th. He'll face Graffinino, Dunn, and Taylor for the Brewster Whitecaps, trying to mount a comeback here. They're down 7-4 as AJ Graffinino, the number 9 hitter today for the Brewster Whitecaps, walks up to the batter's box. Wolf is a lefty, and he is very tall out there, 6'6", 225, out of Milan, Ohio. Plays for Louisville. Plays with our own Sam Bordner at the Brewster Whitecaps. Here comes the first pitch to Graffinino. Shows bunt. A bunt up the third base line. Graffinino on the move. And the throw from third baseman McGee is in time. Gets the speedy Graffinino. And now the Brewster Whitecaps only have 2 more outs to give.
That's an interesting call from A.J. Graffinino, or maybe he was coming over from Smythe or the bench to go and bunt on that first pitch, trying to catch the defense asleep. Did his best to beat it out, but wasn't the best bunt. A good throw from McGee, the third baseman. You're risking a lot when you do that because now, of course, you're preventing the leadoff runner from getting on, which is so important if you're trying to rally for 3.
And now it's Nick Dunn's turn. First pitch from Wolf to Dunn is below the knees. Counts now 1-0. On the Maryland Terrapin. Here comes the 1-0. A breaking ball that drops in for a strike. A lot of curve to that one. Counts now 1-1 versus Nick Dunn. Here comes the 1-1. This one fouled behind him by Dunn. Counts now 1-2. Wolf is a lefty, and all 3 batters that he is set to face in this inning are lefties. As Nick Dunn again fouls this one to the dugout for the Chatham Anglers. Counts now remains 1-2 on Nick Dunn. Here comes the 1-2. That one a breaking ball swung on and chops foul on the first base line by Nick Dunn. Again, stays alive in this count. I've said this before, but I feel like Nick Dunn fouls a lot with 2 strikes. That is, he likes to, or he knows how to stay alive in counts. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. This one hits softly as a second baseman, Shaw, on the move. Nick Dunn is safe at first. Shaw had to charge in from second. He was playing pretty deep, had to charge in from second to get that one. That was a very soft hit from Nick Dunn, but regardless, he beats out that throw and is able to get on for Chandler Taylor.
Nick Dunn doing what he had to do. You know, this is a spot late in the game where folks, you know, might be swinging big, thinking about being a hero to come into the comeback. You really just have to get on base in whatever way you can. And as soon as that little dribbler was heading to the right side, Dunn was thinking infield single, did a great job to beat it out.
1 out, runner on first. First pitch to Chandler Taylor. Breaking ball that finds a strike zone, counts 0-1.
That really is a slow breaking ball. It was clocked at 75. And it makes the fastball look a lot faster when you can start somebody off with a pitch like that.
Here comes 0-1. That one misses. Counts now 1-1 to Chandler Taylor. They'll check the runner at first. Nick Dunn does have some speed on the base paths. We saw him try to steal second today in the first inning, but was called out, thrown out by the Anglers. Here comes the 1-1. Taylor with a hard hit that will be caught by the center fielder. Mason Coppins on the move, makes the grab, and that's quickly 2 outs for the Brewster Whitecaps.
Yeah, you can't hit the baseball much harder than Taylor just did there. Nice job by Coppins to keep his cool and come in and grab it. And so now it's pretty cut and dry for Brewster. They need Mickey Gasper to try and get on in any way he can. And they need Michael Curry to show some pop.
The Brewster Whitecaps are down 3 runs. Nick Dunn is at first, but there is 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for Brewster. Mickey Gasper now up to bat. Batting from the right side now. He's a switch hitter against the lefty. First pitch is taken inside and down low. Counts now 1-0 on Gasper. Wolf now staring in for the Anglers, trying to get this win for his team. As I mentioned, they lost 7-2 to YD, trying to get a East Division win under their belt as Mickey Gasper hits one to Will Delgado on the first base line. Remains foul. Counts now 1-1 on the Bryant Bulldog. Wolf staring in. Here comes a pitch. That one, change up that just misses. Counts now 2-1. Here comes the pitch. That one fouled by Gasper, just in front of home plate. One strike away is Adam Wolf and this Chatham Anglers team from getting the win, but Mickey Gasper will try to do everything in his power to stop that, as Chatham Anglers fans that made the trip to Stony Brook Field are on their feet. Here comes the 2-2. Gasper hits one, and it will drop in for a base hit on the right field side. Mickey Gasper with a little blooper there. Nick Dunn moves to third. Now runners at the corners for Michael Curry, but still, again, 2 outs. A tough position regardless for Michael Curry.
That is what Mickey Gasper can do, man. You're talking about it. Two strikes. The Anglers fans are hooting and hollering behind him. He stays composed, and he does what he needs to do. He just pushes a little looper into right field. He gets on base, and now the Whitecaps have a tying run at the plate.
Michael Curry digging in for the Whitecaps. He is 0 for 4 on the day. I gotta imagine if he brings a run in here, Brewster Whitecaps fans might forget about that 0 for 4 day. Here comes the pitch. That one misses outside. Counts now 1-0 on Curry. Curry has 11 RBIs on the season, trying to get 12 with Nick Dunn at third. Here comes the pitch. That one is a called strike inside. That one was a little bit of an interesting call there from Burns behind the plate. Curry didn't quite like it, but calls for time, composes himself, and now is back in the batter's box. Here comes the 1-1. That one misses, hits the dirt before it crosses home plate. Counts now 2-1 on Curry. Now it's Whitecaps fans who are kind of getting rowdy in the stands, trying to induce a comeback here. Here comes the 2-1. Swing and a miss from Curry. He wanted that one bad. Makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Curry was thinking tie game with that pitch. It was a fastball, and Adam Wolf has shown some nice run on his fastball so far, even when he's getting it up in the low 90s, and Curry was fooled there.
Here comes the 2-2. That one a called strike 3 on the inside corner. Michael Curry is very, very upset. He throws his bat and his helmet down as Nick Dunn and Mickey Gasper walk over to talk to him. He is very upset, as is the rest of the Whitecaps, but regardless, the Whitecaps fall to the Chatham Anglers 7-4. At home, a tough loss for the Whitecaps, as this is an East Division rival, a team that will move ahead of them now in the standings. They were tied at third. Now Chatham will take third, and Brewster will be in fourth in the standings. It's a tough loss overall for Brewster, especially because they mounted a comeback during the game, and then Chatham mounted one of their own, and Brewster was just unable to get back in this game.
Yeah, Jamie Shevchik talked to us yesterday about how the first couple of innings can set the tone for a ball game. Brewster had a rough start in the first inning. They were able to get that Hunter Bishop homer in the second, but they still looked pretty sluggish early on, and they just weren't able to shake those 3 runs that they gave up in the first. I mean, that turned out to be the difference in the ball game. I'm sure that's what Jamie Shevchik is thinking about for the Whitecaps. And you're right, Maura, when you're talking about where this is in the standings, it's a tough loss for Brewster, coming off such a great win yesterday to lose 7-4 here to the Anglers today.
Well, once again, Brewster falls 7-4 against Chatham at home. We still have a post-game show coming up for you, so stay with us. Aiden Doyle will talk to the player of the game, talk to Jamie Shevchik, so don't go anywhere. More Sheridan, Carter Woodeel, and Aiden Doyle have more coming up for you next. Stick with us. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Don't go anywhere. The Whitecaps postgame show is coming up right after this.
That was huge for us. It's huge for the momentum going into tomorrow.
Only on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network.
Welcome back to Stony Brook Field. The Brewster Whitecaps just fell 7-4 to the Chatham Anglers, but there was a shining light in that game. It's Hunter Bishop, and our own Aiden Doyle has Hunter on the sidelines. Aiden, take it away.
Thanks, Maura. Here with Hunter Bishop. Hunter, first home run in the Cape League today, shot out to center field. Take me through that at bat. What was working for you? What'd you see?
I saw a few pitches. I think it was a 2-1 count, and it was a 2-0 pitch right down the plate, and I wasn't really looking for that. I was looking for something outside, and then the next pitch, 2-1, threw a fastball on the outside half, and took it kind of left center field. So it was one of the best swings I've had since being here, so it felt good.
Do you think maybe anything about having seen this pitcher before, Jacob Stevens, last time you guys faced these Chatham Anglers, he pitched against you, do you think that maybe played into it a bit?
Yeah, a little bit. I just think the more at-bats I get, the better I'm seeing the ball. But just, I just had to get it. It took me a while to get adjusted to some of the pitchers. But, I think I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, and I guess it's showing.
I would say it is showing. That's 3 consecutive games with a hit now for you. Yesterday, 1 for 3 with an extra base hit. Today, 2 for 3. What's been the difference at the plate? You talk about maybe just getting a bit more comfortable, but has there been a change in approach at all?
I think just being more comfortable and definitely being more calm, in my stride and my load, because I was like really trying to hit the ball as far as I could at the start since getting here. But now I'm kind of learning that the calmer I am, the better I am. So just kind of it took a while, but it was a good adjustment that I made.
You're coming down the final stretch here with the Whitecaps before the playoffs start. Right now, you control your own fate as a team. What do you think is most important to make sure that not only do you get into the playoffs, but you get into the playoffs playing well?
As you saw last night, I think our pitching and our hitting was on. And, just some of our games we've kind of been hitting on, pitching off, other way around. So I think just getting consistent with both sides of the ball. And that's about it. We got a really talented team, so it's just putting it all together.
All right. Thanks, Hunter.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much, Aiden. And it seems like Hunter Bishop kind of coming into his own. I think it's interesting that he said at the beginning of the year he was just swinging to try to hit as far as he could, and now he's kind of learned, trying to settle in, figuring out what works for him in the Wood Bat League against some of the best, pitchers in the country. So it's nice to see that kind of growth from a young guy like Hunter Bishop.
Yeah, and what he says about, I thought the most telling thing that he talked about with Aiden there was, when I'm calmer, I'm better. This has been a guy, nobody in Whitecaps camp has disputed Hunter Bishop's talent. He's one of the most talented guys on the team. You just look at him and you can see that he's a terrific ball player and he's going to be a good all-around guy. But the thing for him is just, quieting things down at the plate. Even just, not even just mentally, but talking about physically with his hands at the plate. One of the things that the coaching staff was working with him real hard on in batting practice was to keep his hands quiet so he could get better contact with the baseball. It's little things like that that Hunter Bishop has needed to improve on, and it looks like he is improving on those in his past few games.
Well, once again, Brewster fell 7-4. Hunter Bishop improving, but I'm sure Jamie Shevchik thinks that this Brewster team has to improve. We'll see what he has to say. He's with Aiden Doyle right now on the sidelines.
Thanks, Maura. Here with Coach Shevchik. Coach, 7-4 loss to the Anglers today. You talked yesterday about the importance of this game against the Anglers, and you've talked so far this season about getting off to a good start, how the first 2 innings can really set the tone. It seemed like that was certainly the case today.
Yeah, I mean, just go back and look at every game that was played this year. You get off to a hot start, whether we're home or away. If we're home and our pitcher gets us through the first inning pretty quick without any damage, then it gives a lot of confidence to hitters to get to relax and kind of just play baseball. But when you come in and you're down 3-0 before you get a chance to swing the bat, that's tough. It's tough, and it's hard to play baseball when you're constantly coming from behind. So the momentum of a game starts from the starting pitcher, and Joe, didn't do a great job in that first inning today, and he put us behind, and we had to struggle to find runs. So, and that's the difference in today's game, really, if you look at it.
Joe obviously gave up 3 runs in the first inning, but then settled in nicely, it seemed like, before letting in 3 more before coming out of the game. What was the difference? How did he find that success in the middle? Was there anything you picked up from the dugout that maybe it seemed like almost a different pitcher out there?
I mean, in the first inning, he hit a guy, he walked 2 guys, so it wasn't what he just wasn't throwing enough strikes. When you're amped up coming in for your first inning, I don't know if you're trying to, again, you're probably chasing strikeouts. We talked about that yesterday instead of pitching to contact, and he's got to stay ahead. He was behind almost every hitter that he faced in the first inning, so we were very lucky to even come out of the first inning with just giving up 3 runs. So it starts with the starting pitching always. They set the tone for the rest of the game. So we just got to do a better job in our starts of letting our hitters breathe a little bit.
What did you see from Reveno and Tribeaker out of relief?
They were good. I think for them to come in even down, a handful of runs, it's I think they did okay. There was nothing, there's nothing they could have done more of. I mean, we had opportunities to score runs late and couldn't come up with a big hit. But I don't put this all on Joe either. I mean, we took the lead and then just couldn't hold it. So I know our pitching wasn't sharp today, but I think most of it was offensively. We had opportunities to score some runs. We just couldn't push them across.
You had 9 left on base for the team. You've talked a lot this season about trying to find production up and down the lineup, not relying entirely on a guy like Mickey Gasper, who went 2 for 5 today with a couple of RBIs. But Hunter Bishop also 2 for 3, had his first home run as a member of the Whitecaps. This is his 3rd consecutive game with a hit. How important is it for him to get going down the final stretch of the season?
Hunter's a big-time player. He's a guy that we stuck with for pretty much the entire summer. So for him to start seeing that pay off right now, and this is what we expected. The more ABs that he got, the better he's going to be. So if he can just stay within himself and keep this thing moving for the next couple of games, who knows where he can be, when it's all said and done. I mean, if you notice, his average is slowly going up, production's going up. So we're getting out of Hunter exactly what we expected from the day he got here. I think we're just starting to see the signs right now.
You're coming down the final stretch of the season. You're in a pretty good spot right now. You control your own destiny. Harwich obviously isn't playing well. How as a coach, do you get these guys not to necessarily play or not be complacent where they are and keep them motivated, even though a lot of people look at them and say, okay, they're basically already into the playoffs already?
Well, we're not in the playoffs yet, and not even close to being in the playoffs yet. I've seen epic failures in this league. Chatham backed in last year. YD backed in the year before and ended up winning the league. So we're not even close to being in. I'll rest easy when we're actually in the playoffs. You can lose 7 games in a row or win 7 games in a row. That's not that hard in this league. So we need to take one game at a time.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you so much, Aiden, and as always, thank you, Coach Jamie Shevchik. And that's funny what he said there, because he does know as well as anybody that even with only 6 games left, that doesn't really mean much. I mean, as we know, the Brewster Whitecaps didn't win for a week last week, and last year they lost 5 in a row to miss the playoffs, so anything can happen. Even though there's only 6 games, and even though Harwich is not playing well, it doesn't really mean much for the future. And if they want to make the playoffs and want to potentially face a team that's not the red-hot Orleans Firebirds, then they're going to have to kind of step up. But what do you think is the biggest thing they need to do?
Well, it's tough, and I'm with you more of a telling, baseball coaches, they're never going to give you a sure thing on anything like that, taking it one game at a time. But for them, it's about consistency. And I think for starters, it's about throwing more strikes, getting into better counts. I mean, that's something that Joe Molatier struggled with, and I think that's something that some other Brewster Whitecaps starters have had trouble with this year as well. It's something Tony Losi was doing really well last night, and that's why he was able to throw 8 shutout innings. And for the offense, it's about just being consistent. We've seen big outbursts for the offense, and we've seen dry days, and today was a little bit of both. I mean, it seemed like it was a couple of different offenses that we saw today for Brewster. So more consistent delivery for pitchers and more consistent offense for the batters. And that's what Brewster's going to need to do. I mean, it sounds pretty simple to say that, but there's a lot of little things that go into that, and every game means so much now coming down the stretch.
Brewster will try to erase this loss from their memory on the road tomorrow against Wareham. 2 road games in a row, 2 far road games in a row. They'll play Wareham on the road, and they'll play Bourne on the road back-to-back. So a tough stretch here for the Brewster Whitecaps. The last time they went to Wareham, they fell 2-1. But they will try to pull out that win tomorrow. That game starts at 6:30. As always, tune in to us here at the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network. Once again, Chatham upends Brewster 7-4 at Stony Brook Field. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Maura Sheridan alongside Carter Woodeel. Thank you to our sideline reporter Aiden Doyle and Koki Riley for writing up those great game stories for us. We'll say so long from Stony Brook Field. And again, thank you so much for tuning in.